Okay, so we're back because this is Erin Howell with Heavy Mental Coaching. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I am Stacey McDonald of, Social Penetration Radio. Yeah. And what else do you do besides Walk to Connect, Rachel Hultin?
Yeah. So Walk to Connect is my job.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm actually really involved in the community where I live, which is Wheat Ridge.
Nice.
And in Wheat Ridge, I run the Active Transportation Advisory Team, which is a grassroots organization to help people connect with more opportunities to walk and bike and take transit. And
nice.
If you take our acronym, we're actually the AT-ATs, which is a Star Wars reference, and we have lots of fun with that. Yeah.
Hold on.
Stacey, Star Wars was a movie that came out back in the 70s.
I saw it in the theater, Smarty.
It was quite popular.
I did see that one in the theater. You're a Smarty. They
got into space. Space is what surrounds the Earth. It's actually everything that is outside
Thank you,
of the
Smarty.
planet
I know what that is. I know what real life stuff is. I just don't know anything that's on TV. Okay, hold on. And you know what? I'm gonna make sure that our guest tonight knows how in the heck to get in touch with us. Okay. Link to the show. Okay. So actually I have a little piece of information about connection that I think is incredibly telling. Okay. So first of all, Rachel, did you know I quit drinking?
Recently?
Yeah, like in November.
Wow. That is awesome.
Like right before she came in here, she quit drinking.
Half an hour before I showed up.
Well, today's the first day of Lent. So like I said.
Actually, I always say I gave up Lent for Lent.
Right.
She quit right before she stopped driving and parked here.
Yeah. So.
You know what I used to do when I would go to the liquor store? They'd go like, do you want a bag? And I'm like, nah, just drink it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. And I quit drinking. So I'm taking this class called Cravings and Addictions. And I love drinking. I think it's awesome, like really awesome. It's my favorite thing to do. I mean, it was one of my favorite things to do was to drink. And I still think it's great. I just don't do it anymore because, probably that reason. But, and I didn't get into trouble, which was astonishing that I never got into trouble. But they put rats, normally they put rats in a cage and, they drink water or cocaine water. Okay. Right. And every time the rats would drink the cocaine water, right?
Right.
And so this was proof, right? That cocaine was so addictive that like if rats were given the choice that they would drink cocaine water.
And I have to say, hearing this, that you just imagine there's a lot of people that are imagining like cocaine water drinking fountains. And
from the makers of water comes cocaine water.
Right. It's hard to just not like go with the fact that like a lot of people are thinking about the cocaine water fountains.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, actually, I went on a date about like 2 months ago and the guy was like, "You've never done cocaine?" I'm like, no. He's like, "You would love it." So I called one of my...
probably not the right guy to go to a second date with, right?
Indeed. But then I called one of my buddies and I told him, about this conversation. And he's like high level clearance in DC. Right. Like so high level, like he was part of the team that took Osama bin Laden down. Okay. That high level.
So not like Star Wars, like high level literally in space, but actually like clear. Okay,
right. He's feet on the ground, relatively speaking. So he goes, "You've never done cocaine?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "It's pretty euphoric. Once I don't have to have this government clearance, I think I'm going to do it again."
See, I don't think cocaine would be a good fit for you, Stacey.
You don't?
No, seriously.
He's serious about that.
I have another buddy who is asked, who's never done cocaine, and he's like, "Do you think I'd like it?" And he's kind of really like hyperactive, like you and I are. And the truth is it makes you flat. You know what I mean? It's a stimulant, and after you take a certain amount, it just kind of makes you like, I don't know, like I did all the cocaine, by the way.
All of it in the world, there's no
like everything that David Crosby left behind, I did. And everything that he didn't do, I took all of that. And it really, I did some after I stopped drinking, and I realized that the only reason I was doing it in the first place was so that I would be able to drink more. I had kind of like Ace Frehley said that was the same thing. Like everyone thinks Ace Frehley had this big coke problem. But it was just, he just liked to stay up and drink. And then I did coke.
That's so expensive.
I know. And then I did coke when after I had stopped drinking, and I just got really uncomfortable and irritable and just didn't want to be anywhere and got really impatient and kind of grouchy and moody and whatnot.
That sounds not awesome.
Well, but that first little bit is really euphoric. It's
well, and
awesome.
That's what my buddy said. And he's only done it once. And he's like, "It's super euphoric." And I said, "Okay, cool. Then let's get an 8-ball when we're 85. And he goes, "Okay, my treat."
You wouldn't need an 8-ball.
I don't even know.
You wouldn't need an 8-ball. I mean,
Is that a lot?
Yeah. I mean, if
By the way,
like-
just in case you're wondering where all this informative, super educational, enlightening conversation is coming from, you're listening to WCAS Auraria, and we're simulcasting from KMET over in the Tivoli.
now back to the cocaine.
Okay.
All right. Now, now here's the interesting thing is that the more meditation I've done, the more personal development work I've done, the more in touch I've gotten, the healthier I've gotten, the more intense the effects of drugs have been.
Okay.
Negatively intense. Like the smallest amount just like overwhelms me.
Okay.
So if I were to do cocaine, like even like I could get less than a gram,
I don't
and
even know how much that is.
it would probably last me a month.
Okay, so how much is a gram? Like how much would that be?
You never bought a 40 bag, girl? All right. No, it's I don't know the math. I never did so well at the maths in school. But it's a little jewelry bag.
Okay.
Full. I mean,
Okay.
you don't get a big bag of cocaine. It's a little tiny amount.
Okay. Good to
crush
know.
it up with a lighter and a $1 bill, and then
Done and done. And
Yeah.
then it's a party. Well, here's the thing about, okay, so they had the rats, and these rats are in these barren, which actually goes to prove your point. So they're in these barren cages and they always pick the cocaine water.
Right.
Well, they found out that if they give them like wheels to turn on or
Right.
like balls to play with and like this great, like a little rat swimming pool, they always go to the water and never to the cocaine.
Yeah.
Mm.
that
So
Yeah.
to improve their environment actually makes them always go to the water.
we should get someone from Phoenix Multisport in here
Okay.
on an episode. I've been there a handful of times. It's a sober gym.
Right.
And that is kind of their philosophy, is that by redirecting that energy into something more productive like exercise or boxing or yoga or whatever it is that they're doing, that really breaks down the desire to drink or do drugs.
I just came up with an idea.
What?
We should be the leaders of the cuddle parties at Phoenix Multisport. I think that
I don't want to cuddle with a lot of those folks.
no. I'm saying that we're like the heads of it.
Well, here's the
That we
thing.
go in there and tell everybody the rules. No means no. Yes means yes.
Yeah.
Maybe means no.
Well, a lot of those people do have an issue with boundaries, I will say.
Okay.
I've gone before, and the one thing, I just wanted to work out. I just wanted to do yoga. I just wanted to be on my own. I don't do 12 steps. I don't do meetings. I don't do
Right.
rehab or
Me
anything
neither.
like that. I just don't drink anymore.
Right.
I just stopped doing it because it wasn't helping me out. And you get a lot of people who are in the program and they're a little invasive.
You know what, though? They have actually found out about 12 steps. They pulled the 12 steps apart to figure out what part was effective,
Mhm.
because it really actually has very low efficacy. 12-step programs do. It's anywhere between 3 and 5%.
Well, it used to be the only game in town.
Yeah. But the thing, when they pulled it all apart to find out what parts are effective, it's the sense of community.
Yeah.
It's the
I'm not
connection.
surprised.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And I get that. I get that. If you go to a meeting where it's more about a sense of community than it is about working steps or thumping the big blue book or anything like that, I think those are the people who end up hanging on for the long term.
So, yeah. No, you were about to say.
I was
Yeah.
just about to share that in my 20s, when I was watching all the instability or with my friends and myself,
Uh-huh.
I actually came up with a 2-step program
Oh,
in part
hold on.
because,
This is be good.
when you're 20, you don't have the long-term vision to like
Right.
see to the
Go
end
through
of
all the
12
12
steps. Like,
Hold on. When you're 20, I'm
Yeah.
43. I'm like 12 steps. That's such a lot.
yeah. Well, so my 2-step program, which included a weekend-long retreat. Okay. Do you
Oh.
want to know what the 2 steps were?
Yeah.
Step 1 was get over it.
Okay.
And step 2 was move on.
Oh,
Yeah. So
yay.
yeah, that's the 2-step program.
Okay.
And get over it. The first day on the get over it, you would sit and spin with your problem on one of those sit and spins.
Oh,
And
I
you'd
love
do
sit and
it like you'd
spin.
spin and spin and spin until you were like vomiting because you were so disoriented. And so you would sit and spin with your problem until you were just
Uh-huh.
sick and couldn't stand yourself and couldn't even get up.
Yeah.
And then the next day you'd be given a hippity hop and you would get on your hippity hop and
Nice.
just move on.
Nice.
And that was only $600 for the weekend.
right. No, that seems like pretty
Yeah,
legit.
Yeah. so,
Actually,
yeah.
I think that you should start, though, the first one by getting really hammered And then when you spin around so much that you're just puking your
right.
balls off,
Right.
that you just can't drink. You can't
right.
drink ever again.
Right. And
You
then,
know?
then you get out your credit card. Yeah. No, that's, it's funny though when you say about the connection piece, because it is social connections that really help us get past anything that is taking a lot of inner resolve.
Right.
So, we all like to think we've got the inner resolve just to, do whatever it is that we need to get done. But the social connections actually affirm the things within us that we need to know about ourselves to actually do that stuff. So, yeah. So we may not be sharing that with others, but behavior is mirrored in our friends and in our relationships. And that mirroring is actually an enforcement that gives us, a hope for success. Or sometimes that mirroring is a bad reinforcement and can keep us from doing the things we need to do. So connections go either way, right?
Well, and here's the thing. Yeah. With connections, you can't just do it one way.
Right.
I mean, same with hugs. You can't.
Although you can. There are people you go to hug and you get that stiff.
Oh, yeah.
We were just the other day talking about the different ways of hugging. And like I'm a lean in and I
Me too.
Oops, there goes my water bottle. Yeah. Both arms and and if it's like if I can't, I'll pull their shoulders. I'm
into extreme high impact hugging.
Yeah.
It's like parkour. I do like upside down hugs and like intersecting hugs and stuff like that.
Expect bruising.
But then there's people you go in to hug and they stiff and they block you with their shoulder and pull back and and so that is kind of one way hugging, right?
Or like the bro hug where you go in and you give the hand lock and then you pull in, so you've got the barrier of the arm right there. I will say, and I've told people this for a while, I personally feel that the Denver, I don't know if it's Denver across the board, but the Denver music community is a very huggy scene. In my experience, I hug all of my friends to greet them and I hug all of them goodbye. Like it's a pretty common thing to have, like people coming into the bar, hey, come around the other side, let me give you a hug, like that type of thing. And I honestly would pinpoint a major spike in that to tragedy. Like there was within the small community that I work out of, there was a tragedy where a friend of ours was murdered a couple summers ago. And after that, people got a little softer and people got it's like you go to New York City post 9/11 New York City. It's a changed place.
Right.
It's absolutely a changed place. People are hugging each other. People are talking to each other. People are, what used to be a totally 100% bitter and jaded and dissociated type of city, people are chatting it up, and it's not perfect by any means.
Right.
New York is a different place than it was
I can
the
see
first
that.
time I went.
Well, and even the day after, September the 11th, remember how the whole nation was like so touchy-feely? I even liked Republicans that day. I was cool with them. I don't know what happened to me, but I don't like them anymore.
That's part of that universal model of change is, something happens that totally upsets the balance of the way you thought the world was. Black becomes white, up becomes down, left becomes right, and everything becomes messed up, and it reintegrates at a higher level and starts to balance back out, and Republicans and Democrats go back to fighting, and people go back to being kind of cold to each other, but
Democrats
better than it was before.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that I've told you before, I really do ultimately have hope in mankind.
I do too.
I really do too.
Yeah. You do too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, otherwise, walk to connect. Why would you do this crap? Can you imagine I show up every Friday morning? Thanks for showing up, douchebags.
I'd like to learn.
Can we just get this over with?
Right. I know. I knew that we were going to walk around the lake at City Park, but you know what? Let's just walk to the weed shop on Colfax.
Let's walk to connect your checkbooks to my bank account. Let's do that.
Oh, we keep forgetting to ask for money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oopies. No, I'm like the worst offender, and Jonathan knows this. Although he overslept a couple of weeks ago, I've never done that.
He's done it twice. He told me about it. Yeah.
I love it that he has done that because here's me. I show up. If I've seen everybody before, I'm like, all right, let's just go.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't like like do anything special for making sure that they don't sprain an ankle or whatever. So
I'm just going to assume right now that Jonathan is not listening to this.
He is doing something else.
I know he is. So So yeah, we never do ankle rolls. And if it's
Oh,
my
good.
regulars, we roll. You
Yeah.
know, we're like, let's get the show on the road.
Right.
And if we have someone new, we kind of step back in. And we should clarify, Jonathan Stalls is the founder of Walk to Connect and
Mhm.
the other principal in our esteemed organization.
Uh-huh.
Between the two of us, we are the entire staff.
And
but
he was Alumni of the Year last year
He
at MSU. Yeah, he was on our
He was-
homepage
he
at
was the poster child,
msudenver.edu.
yeah.
He was the poster child. What was his it was like social entrepreneurship, I think was his major.
Yeah, I think he custom crafted
Yeah.
a major, and so it's social entrepreneurship. Which
See, I custom crafted one too.
Yeah.
Holistic psychology.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
you're welcome.
I custom crafted mine, which was English major turned philosophy major turned science major turned biology major with a chemistry minor right here
Oh my
on a rare
God.
campus. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a really customized 7-year program.
Yeah, I was gonna say that seems like it took a while.
Yeah.
Oh
I'll
my
never
God.
forget the 3 weeks I went to college.
You'll never forget.
Yeah. I'll never forget that one film class I took
I'm still
many years ago.
I'm still trying to block out the 3 weeks of this semester. This is the hardest semester. It's my last. But tomorrow I have a test in clinical neuropsychology. And we only just have to know every part of like the brain and the cell and what they all do and what all the hormones that are connected with each part of the brain do.
Right.
And yeah, I'd probably know about 25% right now. So it'll be a long night.
Mhm.
And then I also have one in forensic psychology. And in forensic psychology, they make you know a lot of the dates of cases, like law school.
yeah. Wow.
That's funny.
awesome.
For
Right.
somebody that just wants to have a jackass radio show for a living,
Right.
it just seems like a hell of a lot of work. I think it's, we never, by the way, clearly we're streams of consciousness.
Right.
We're going to go to another break. And, A-Rod, I'll show you how we do this. But you know what? We are going to listen intently to Rachel talk to us about the empirical research behind Walk to Connect and connecting with other people. And Aaron and I are going to shut our pie holes the whole time.
No, we won't.
You're listening to Social Penetration right here. We're being simulcast from WCAS Auraria and KMET Radio, the Tivoli.
I'll just sit.
Hey, buddy.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses experiencing a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, American Red Cross, and by WCAS Radio.
According to a recent survey, 86% of dads spend more time with their children than their own fathers did with them. However, 7 out of 10 also report that they could use tips on how to be a better parent. Even the smallest moments can have the biggest impact in a child's life. Take the time to be a dad today. For more information, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and by WCAS Radio.
All across America, something remarkable is happening. Kids are eating better, they're exercising. Our youngsters are, drumroll please, getting healthy. And it's all because determined moms have gotten together to make a difference. It's not rocket science. They're just finding creative ways to help their kids exercise and eat 5 servings of fruit and vegetables every day. You can do it too. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. Again, that's letsmove.gov. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. There are safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Teach your kids the 5 bystander tips. Tell a trusted adult like a family member, teacher, or coach. Help the person being bullied get away from the situation. Be a good friend to the person being bullied. Set a good example by not bullying others. And don't give bullying an audience. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn more safe, simple ways your child can be more than a bystander. A public service announcement from the Ad Council, WCAS cares when it counts.
Saving money today is like giving a gift to your future self. A little money from each paycheck can go a long way, and you'll need those savings set aside to do some cool stuff in the future. Yeah, it's hard, but you know it's the right thing to do. Take control of your finances and make savings a part of your daily life. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org or visit Feed the Pig on Facebook. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the Ad Council, and by WCAS Radio.
New music. Are you tired of the same old boring radio? Why not try something new? Tune in to WCAS, Student Streaming Radio.
And you're listening to Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. It's on WCAS Radio, Central 108, happening right now.
See, we just check on all the technical stuff right here in the middle of the show. Aaron's going to eat a sandwich so that he actually has something in his mouth to shut his pie hole.
Wow.
You can still hear him now.
I know. No, hey, man, am I the pot or the kettle? Right. I mean, I'm not point the finger three or pointing back at me.
How you doing? This is Kettle calling. Just wanted to let you know that you're black. Talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, my God.
You got a call coming in.
Oh, we have a call coming in. Hey, guys. Hold on one sec. Actually.
Hey guys, you're listening to Social Penetration. Give us a call at 303-352-7424 and join the conversation.
It's my mom. Hold on. Mom?
Yes.
We're actually talking about some important stuff around here. What are you doing?
Well, you said you weren't going to be talking for the next.
Oh, I said, and my mom, and that was like warranted my mom calling in. Why? Because you didn't believe it would happen?
That's right.
Oh, my God.
I love hearing from your mom.
I'm so grateful. Mom, come on.
The thing is,
what?
Just what every mom wants to know is her daughter's got this big ass test tomorrow, and she only knows 25% of the major questions.
Well, you're not paying for my school. Isn't that the beauty of being 43 and a half?
Thank God.
Thank God is right. No, Mom, I'm going to pull it off. It'll be crazy. Watch.
I know.
I'm going to totally pull this off. Hey, by the way, Rachel, do you know that my mother and Tim Freeze are an item?
No, that's like Walk to Connect gossip.
I know.
I love
right?
it. I love it. I love Tim. That's awesome.
Yeah, my mom and Tim. Listen to her laugh.
If you're going to do that, I'm not going in anymore.
They're going pretty hot and heavy.
They're
having a torrid love affair.
It is true. They've been together for almost a year now, right, Mom?
Wow.
It'll be 11 months.
Who's counting?
That's right.
Right.
The 26th.
Well, really, who's counting? That's funny.
Right.
Well, are you guys doing something for your anniversary?
Probably.
Okay.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Good point. It is not even 11 months yet. Not only that, but isn't that the time where, like, guys, it's like, oh, your birthday's coming up. Better break up. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, there is research to show that relationships get together in October and end in April.
Really?
Yeah. But yours didn't get, and I'm sure that has something to do with hormones, Mom. I'm thinking at 78, those aren't quite the same factor.
So when are you two going to settle down and give Stacy a little brother or sister? That's what I want to know.
Oh my God.
That happened 42 years ago.
Oh my God.
I think it's time to stop sowing your wild oats, and I think you've gone through that moratorium period where you just need to settle down and take the plunge with this guy. He sounds like a good guy.
Mom.
He is.
He is a good guy. Oh my God. Well, we're going to get back to Rachel, Mom. Thanks for calling in, you smarty.
Okay.
I love your guts.
Love yours too.
Bye, Mom. I just
awesome.
accidentally hung up on my mom.
Does your mom live at Windsor Gardens too?
No, she lives at Heather Gardens.
Oh,
so
okay,
it's the other old people place. So they kind of just go back and forth.
So my grandmother lived at Windsor Gardens. And the thing I love the most about it is when you drive in the entrance off of Alameda, there's this huge statue on top of the old gatehouse. And it's in Windsor Gardens, for anyone who doesn't know, is a seniors only community. I think you have to be
At least
60 or-
55.
yeah.
At least 55.
So, and you drive in and there's this ginormous, like 25-foot statue of these two people passionately embracing. I mean, it is like the first, like most risque thing I've ever seen. And as a kid, we'd go visit my grandmother and it was so the opposite of everything that I experienced as soon as we passed the gate because there was no passionate embracing anywhere.
Ever.
Yeah. So
yeah,
really funny.
actually, my grandma had a thing where you pulled its pants down and it peed in your face.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
exactly.
We all know my grandma's favorite saying.
His grandma saying, okay, tell the story so that we can.
We were talking about dreams.
Okay.
And we said, what do you dream about, Grandma? And she said, oh, you know, playing squat tag in a field of penises. she lives in a seniors only apartment complex too, which is baller as hell. Really,
where
really
is
nice.
it?
Off Yale and Colorado Boulevard.
Yeah, Yale in Colorado.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You can see Pikes Peak right through the window. Like young hip kids would kill for this place, and I'm sure she doesn't pay very much.
That's good.
It's pretty.
I'd love to hear that.
It's slamming.
Yeah, well, and actually, that's something that makes people die is not getting enough connection. How do you like that for a segue?
Yeah, it's great.
So, Mom, yeah, you could thank me when you live to be 99 for hooking you up with Tim. You're welcome.
Oh, Tim's a catch though. Good for your mom.
No, and they're both super fun.
Yeah,
my mom is a blast.
Oh, I can tell.
And Tim is a blast. So yeah, she's a pretty fun girl, but she doesn't instigate doing things. Tim instigates doing things. So I put them together, not necessarily. I mean,
sexually.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I put them socially together, thinking that they actually might dig each other too. But I put them socially together because my mom loves to do things and doesn't, and Tim loves to do things and does. And so he tells my mom about the 900 things that are going on during the month, and then they go do all of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I know. And then I'm studying for a neuroclinical psychology test tonight. Boo. Okay.
You know, you've reached that sweet point in your life when your mom's got the more exciting social life.
Oh my God. It totally makes me want to shoot myself in the face.
Right. That won't last forever.
Kids are boring, man. Kids are boring. All they do is go to the bar and go dancing and rub their parts together.
No, it's
older
pretty true.
older folks know what's up, man. They know what the real cool fun stuff is.
Agreed, homie.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm also 43 and a half. So
nice.
With that
when's your birthday?
May 9th.
Okay, so you're 43 3/4.
I mean 43 3/4.
Yeah.
I'm
nice.
breathing down the neck of 44.
Right on. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have a problem with 40?
No.
Not even a little.
No.
I didn't.
Yeah. My only age crisis came at 31.
Really?
Yeah. My 30th birthday, I had all these friends and we had this great party. And my 31st birthday, I woke up in the morning and I was like, holy crap, what the hell am I doing with my life? I had this really fun first year of my 30s. And then I realized it's getting real. And I actually, needed to graduate. Get on with my life.
I had a panic attack the night of my 29th birthday. But then after that, 40, not there yet. 30 was awesome. Yeah. Because I got in a car accident 3 days before my 30th birthday.
Right.
That could have killed me.
Uh-huh.
It was a pretty crazy life affirming moment. So my 30th birthday, I barely drank. I think I drank half a beer just because I wanted to remember all of it. I wanted to cherish every minute of it.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to I loved my friends so much, and my brother flew in from Detroit, and I was like, I'm so happy to see you.
Wow.
I'm just so happy to be alive. It was one of the most amazing periods of my life.
Yeah, I don't actually remember any of my birthdays, so that'll be a new one.
Right.
That should be fun.
What's your birthday, Stacey?
August 3rd.
All right.
Yeah,
we're
my
gonna
half
throw it
birthday.
down.
Yeah, because your half birthday just happened a week and a half ago.
Half birthday.
No, my 3/4. Yeah, because my half is
or 3/4
November
birthday. Yeah.
So I have a 8 3/4-year-old at home. His is May 19th.
Nice.
So, yeah. So we track. Before you have a kid, you don't track your halves and 3/4.
Oh, I have no kids.
Yeah, but once you hit fractions age, it's a really growing and learning experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
Technically I have one.
Okay.
Technically.
Right. But there are people in my life that are childlike. Well, I've got 2 dogs that are large
okay.
and needy.
Yeah, my dog's a jackass. Oh my God. My dog is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Oh,
and
mine-
I take him on our walk to connect walks. I mean, let's add a little danger into
All
the
right, I'm just
scenario.
going to put my professional hat on and make sure you're signing your waivers.
I am
before you're
absolutely.
walking.
Actually, my dog loves everybody.
Yeah.
When we go for a walk, like, but today some dog came up to him while he lifted his leg to a tree,
Mhm.
and that dog actually came up to him pretty aggressively. And my dog turned around and was ready to go. He's like, you know what? You want to bring this thing? Bring it. And I was like, no, we will not be doing that. And then we just continued to walk. And the other person was like, oh, Fifi, I can't believe you, and whatever its name was. So,
Right,
yeah.
right.
But my dog, he doesn't start things anymore, but he's ready to finish them.
So my dog, who we named Jelly Belly because we wanted her to be a sweetie,
And
has
they're delicious.
Yeah. She's landed us an animal court.
Oh my God.
And we have court-ordered beware of dog signs on her.
No.
She's actually sweet if you're a human, but if you're a dog, and unfortunately as a dog, you can't read the beware of dog sign.
Yeah, I've
but you
heard
can
that.
probably see the snarling, growling face on the other side of it. She does not like other dogs, and it's unfortunate because it's hard to avoid other dogs when you're out walking. So.
Now, we had the dog whisperer guy here last week, and he's the one that taught me that even though my dog doesn't like other dogs, how to walk my dog.
Right.
And my dog doesn't bother other dogs now. And not only that, but he's kind of become like the old, like, when dogs come to the fence that are in like a wrought iron fence,
Right.
my dog goes up to him and is like, hey, dude, I used to do that too. You can chill out, man. like you don't have to do that anymore.
Like Morgan Freeman in The
It
Shawshank
is.
Redemption.
That's my dog. Oh my God,
See,
my dog
Stacey,
is
The
a black guy.
Shawshank Redemption is this movie that
I
came
saw
out
that
and won
one.
some Oscars. Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman.
No, I saw that movie. And my dog is like Morgan Freeman. He's a black dude. My dog's 70. He has salt and pepper hair.
Do people love the sound of his voice?
Yeah,
And
does
people-
he do every voiceover ever for
Ever?
every like nature documentary ever?
Isn't that the best though? I
As long as I can remember, I've always liked to smell other dogs' butts.
He does actually, because we had a thing with Dr. Furr in his class that we had to watch, or we had to replicate Morgan Freeman's voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he did this.
So
and-
maybe it's not actually Morgan Freeman. It's all these students across
Right.
the country that are getting.
Oh my God. It was
coached in how
heinous.
to
He's just
talk like
farming
Now-
out work.
oddly enough, I
clowns.
am excellent at at doing a voice like Meryl Streep. Oddly enough, I'm good at that.
Let's hear it.
I can't even.
Come on, you're
let's
on the
see.
spot.
Hold on. The girl with a red hat. Something. Superfluously, blah blah blah. I don't remember. I just kind of remember.
Holy,
I pretended
Meryl
like I was
Streep's in the
talking to
room.
somebody I wanted
Holy
to give a
cow.
blowy to.
I closed my eyes and she was here.
I know,
Miss
but
Streep,
whatever.
Where
No,
did
no.
you go?
But it was good. But my Morgan Freeman, not so much. Okay,
I'd
hold
like
on.
to say that the
Ready?
sisters didn't
Okay.
get to Andy
Hold
that
on.
night.
Ready? Okay.
Oh, it just got quiet. In
I know.
here.
That's because I did this. No one could see, but I
Right.
turned a key on my lips, and I did the
Wow.
same to Aaron.
He's
Okay.
like hyperextended his
I know.
headphones. He's as far away from the mic.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And you could still hear him. That's the best.
Right.
Where'd you learn how to whisper? A sawmill? That's so great. Okay, so
All
what
right.
is the empirical evidence with connection that you are going to discuss with us?
Well, I want to actually start. I want to go back to where you were saying a little bit ago about how you gave up drinking last fall. And one of the things that's really interesting to me is that a lot of addictions come from a feeling of disconnection,
Mhm.
and that so it's sort of a it's a positive feedback mechanism. You feel disconnected, so you drink, and that also like fuels your disconnection. So and I come from a family with a lot of addiction issues,
Mhm.
and so growing up, there was a lot of disconnection in our house. Like we looked connected, but the truth is that we weren't really connecting with one another and with other people in meaningful ways. So I launched into my adulthood, and I kind of flailed around, as I've already indicated in my college track.
That at 31, it was a big slap in the face.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the party's over. And so as I've grown older and started to really look at, what's meaningful in my life and where I've actually managed to overcome some of the things that made the first half of my life very interesting. And there's a lot of great stories.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't even buy the videotape. That's all I'm saying. Buy the videotape.
Yeah, I'll make the videotape.
Oh my God.
But I'll wait till after no one in my family knows my name anymore.
Nice.
Right. But after my son was born, and I was in real estate for 18 years before doing this. So as you were talking about appraisals, I was like, oh, her job does suck.
It does suck.
Yeah, it totally does.
I mean, we're saying I could be working. Really, what I'm qualified to do is clean hotel rooms. I mean, honestly, so it's a better gig than that, but barely. And I'm not good at cleaning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we could go on and on about that. But so after my son was born, and I really started feeling not comfortable not being a part of something that was making my life feel better and the life of the community that I really cared about. And what I realized was that when I go out and walk, I feel really peaceful and I feel really happy. And I didn't really think about it before I was starting to ask myself, what do I need to start doing differently to not feel so crazy? Like I was working 70-hour weeks and I was running all over town, and I was like constantly at the beck and call of other people's needs, and I was like fueling this hectic lifestyle through eating like crap and drinking too much, and and I was like, whoa, this just sucks.
Right.
There's nothing good here. But walking the dogs, like no matter what my day was, like that always felt good.
Yeah.
And so when I met Jonathan, and he, so Jonathan Stahl's our esteemed founder, at the age of, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think he was 24. He had his quarter life crisis,
which makes me puke a little in my mouth.
Right.
Because
He's
he has
32 now.
And he has it sew together.
Right.
I seriously, I just threw up in my mouth.
Right. Well, we'll see where he is when he's 43 and
Yeah.
3/4. So.
I hope he's like 150.
Right. Well,
he's gumming tapioca. Right. Hey, Jonathan.
He'll do a good job of it, though. He'll be
oh, totally. He'll be the best spoon-fed 43-year-old you ever saw.
Right. Well, but so to that point, though, at 24, he kind of had this crisis and decided to walk across the country, which I probably would have done better in my 20s had I done something like that.
Yeah.
But it was really fueled by, disconnection. And through his experience of walking from Maryland to California, he realized we're actually built to connect. Like we're literally physically built to connect. But we've engineered entire communities and cities and societies that are completely disconnected. And he just wasn't okay with that after he was done with the walk. So out of that, he said, how do we get people out and feeling more connected? Walking does it. And it's accessible and it's cheap, and just about anybody can do it. And so that's kind of where it started. And it's so fun to be a part of it. So when you talk about the empirical evidence, and I wish I had more time to sit around and research
I know
this, but we walk a lot, and we have people like you and other amazing walking trip leaders who are leading.
Okay, hold on. We have me, and then we have me, and then we have amazing walking leaders. I mean, there is a difference. Don't kid yourself.
You know what? Anyone who shows up and is willing to invite people to walk with them is amazing. I mean, because each walking trip leader brings a different energy and a different lens and a different vision. And out of that comes this rhythm of other people who want to be a part of that.
One of the things, by the way, you're listening to WCAS Auraria, and we're simulcasting from KMET over at the Tivoli. But here's the funny thing that I have found when I show up to my walk, when there are other people there and then there's new people.
Right.
I have the usual walkers are sort of explaining who I am.
Right.
And what kind of person I am to the new person.
Right. So you've got some disciples.
Okay, gear down, get prepared. You should probably drop an F-bomb in the next 45 minutes.
Right.
That's probably inevitable. She goes about 1,000 miles an hour with her mouth flapping, and it's going to feel like a therapy session. Oh, by the way, don't tell her that you're screwing up in your life, because she'll tell you that you're screwing up in your life. Oh, really? You're doing that? You're a jackass. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Stacy.
Right. But you know what? That works for a lot of people, and they come back and they find you. And that's what's really great about it, is that connection's authentic, because you're you.
Right.
And you are bringing all of that to the walk, and other people show up and they're like, wow, when I go to Rachel's walk, she only drops the F-bombs at the very end, but Stacy starts in the first 15 minutes. And that feels really good to me. So, and Jonathan's, deep contemplative, he's such a steward and caregiver. And, and I'm sort of like, all right, people, let's go. Like,
let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I start every morning. I'm like, all right, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
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 Well, and it was funny too. One of our people on our walks, she had been with this guy for 10 years. And I was like, oh, honey, you just need to like leave that relationship and change the locks. And she was like, oh, we don't live together. I'm like, oh, wait, then just change your phone number. I mean, like, this is
That
not
just got so easy.
right. Exactly. Wow. I'll just solve that for you. Any input there, Mr. Smarty Pants?
I'm not being a smartass.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying
I'm
that
really
you are.
listening.
I'd like to call you Mr. Smarty Pants.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And he has his pants on. So,
And he does.
Like,
Now, I mean, we keep coming back to this, but one of the things that I struggled with the most when I made the choice to stop drinking was I came to realize that I was drinking to participate in a ritual of camaraderie, in a ritual of connection. And I think that there's a significant deficit of, or at least there's a perceived deficit of opportunities to connect with people. Where, it kind of the standard thing is, well, if you want to meet people, if you want to go hang out, the best place to do it is go to the bar. And there are a lot of people, what I would call orphans, people who they hang out at the bar because that's where their social, their social circle is. That's where they are going to connect with people. And it's nice to hear of something that isn't that. That just getting out and walking around and hanging out and shooting the shit and having a good time, that is available to people who are a little older and don't have time to, or don't have the character to go sit in a bar and hang out and get wasted with people. I like that a lot. And
yeah. And not only that, but not that the people that we're with, not that I haven't gone out and gotten wasted with them. I have actually, but I mean, I've also done healthier things than that with them too.
Well, right, and you get to connect on an actual, authentic, organic, true wavelength and level, and that's really cool.
It is pretty cool.
That is all badass, bud.
All badass. I know, right?
It is.
Okay, so check this out. Everybody, you're listening to Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. And, Rachel, thanks for coming in today. You are going to stay when you're staying the whole time, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so Rachel's going to stay with us. Michael Losier, who wrote the book Law of Attraction and best-selling book. He used to have a show on Oprah Radio called The Law of Attraction. And he's joining us tonight. But we're going to go to break first. You're listening to Social Penetration.
Hey, buddy.
Did you know that of the 8 million dogs and cats that enter shelters each year, almost half of them are euthanized because they are not adopted? And the truth is, there's nothing wrong with these pets. They're just good dogs and cats, most of whom end up in shelters due to owner-related issues that they have no control over. So if you want a pet, adopt. Brought to you by the Shelter Pet Project and the Ad Council. Go to theshelterpetproject.org to help. WCS Radio cares when it counts.
Don't be afraid to take on the tough classes in high school. You need them to succeed in college. Most colleges require 3 to 4 years of math, English, science, social studies, and at least 2 years of the same foreign language. So push yourself. You may not need all these classes to finish high school, but working harder today makes getting into college a whole lot easier. For more info, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
If you feel desperate or alone, help is here. Call Lifeline and talk with a trained crisis counselor who can help you find your way back to a happier, healthier life. Lifeline is a confidential service from the federal government's Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. The call is free. With help comes hope. So call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, day or night, at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. Help is here.
Remember when the romp in the woods left you covered in bug bites? Or when the sexy whipped cream turned into a sticky mess? Then there was the time, or two, that you got caught in the act? Hey, even that didn't make you give up on sex. So don't give up on birth control either.
There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices, get the facts, and put the bogus myths to bed. A message from Bedsider and the Ad Council. And by WCAS Radio, we care when it counts.
Did you know that 17 million people will acquire a dog or cat within the next year, but there are still 2.7 million pets losing their lives in shelters? However, the percentage of pets in homes adopted from animal shelters and rescue groups has risen from 27% to 29% in the last 2 years, and encouraging statistics show that euthanasia of shelter pets is down 10% since 2009. By adopting, you can make a difference in the life of a shelter pet. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Shelter Pet Project, and by WCAS Radio.
Wash surface, utensils, and hands with soapy water while preparing food, especially when handling raw meats or eggs. Raw food may contain bacteria that can make you very sick or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safe by cleaning with soap and water as you go. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. Public service announcement brought to you by USDA, HHS, and by WCAS Radio.
Kids spend a lot of time on all sorts of ridiculous things. They spend ages watching funny online videos or 197 straight minutes playing a video game about alien picnics, which means they can spend 2 minutes twice a day brushing their teeth. Tooth decay is the single most common chronic childhood disease. That's why brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. To find out more, visit 2min2x.org. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council, and by WCAS Radio.
WCAS! No commercials, no time for bathroom breaks.
I'm on jacked up on Mountain Dew!
Deep Indie from Central 108.
Don't act like you're not impressed. And you're listening to Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. It's on WCAS Radio, Central 108, happening right now.
Hey, we're back.
Right.
Hey, is Michael on the phone still? Michael, are you there? You know what? I'm going to try and call Michael. But yeah, so you guys have been here listening to Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. Rachel has joined us this evening from Walk to Connect. Thank you so much for taking time out for us. What are the million projects that you're working on, just so that we can give you a plug?
Right. Well, I was just telling Stacey that tomorrow I'm actually I've created a grassroots leadership academy for Wheat Ridge, where I live, and we are starting tomorrow night as our first session. And it's a really cool 8-month program that is allowing. Well, we have 16 residents from Wheat Ridge. And we are giving them the skills and inspiration to turn ideas into action from the ground up. And the idea is to knit together people across generations and across geographies to try and tell the story of what our community can look like in the future. Yeah, super awesome.
That tiny little task, jeez.
Yeah,
I know. It's like did I mention I do a 50-minute walk on Friday mornings, and I was going to walk my dog anyway.
Well, you got to make your mission compelling. You got to make it so big that it's something you could not possibly do in 50 lifetimes.
Right.
You know.
Right.
That gets you out of bed in the morning.
Agreed. I'm going to get Michael on the phone here, but I'm going to let you guys keep talking to each other. And also, I want to hear about this coffee shop too. But I'm going to turn off my mic and get him on.
Tell us about the community coffee shop you're working on.
Well, so it is really in the early stages, but one of the things that I think all communities need to connect and thrive is the vital third places. So, like when you were talking about, the need to go down to the corner bar. I mean, historically, that's a social connection, and it's a place where people connect with their neighbors and connect with local businesses.
The public house.
The public house, yeah, the great third place. And so I think for communities to thrive and not have to just go to the bar at night is to have a great coffee shop. Mm-hmm. And so there is a need for more coffee shops, I think, in Wheat Ridge, where I live. So I'm working with a couple people, and we're trying to make that happen.
And that's one thing I've noticed about like places like Wheat Ridge, Thornton, Highlands Ranch, areas like that. If you're in a place like Baker or 5 Points or even on Colfax or River North or something like that, there's a lot more areas to kind of go kick it, go hang out. And you go to the suburbs and it's totally that, just like go to work, go to home, don't talk to anybody, mow your lawn, order a pizza, watch Netflix, but don't connect to anybody. And I lived in the suburbs for a little bit and I didn't know any of my neighbors, and I think it's important to, I like that third place.
Right.
Where does that come from? The
It's
third
actually
place.
a book that was written in the 70s, and it's a social study around, it's kind of the precursor for Bowling Alone. But it's talking about the importance of investing in those places. So we've got our first place was our home, our second place is work, and that third place is that social connection place.
Yeah.
And that's, without that third place, we feel disconnected everywhere.
And without that third place, you end up naked, high on PCP.
You end up being
running
Aaron's
into-
first story at the beginning. Of the
Yeah.
radio
Right?
show.
Don't you love him?
Yeah.
Hey,
The
Michael.
guy just wanted to connect. That's all.
Hey, Michael, can you hear us?
I can.
I am so grateful. Have you ever had anybody else talk about PCP while you were about to do your law of connection?
I have a story for later. Yep.
Love it.
Why
I love
later?
it. Love it. Oh, by the way, everybody who just joined us is Michael LOSIER. He is the best-selling author of Law of Attraction and the author of Law of Connection, which we'll be talking about tonight. And he's joining us from where are you? British Columbia?
Yeah, Victoria. British
Victoria.
Columbia, just north of Seattle. A
Nice.
little island.
Nice.
A little bigger than Gilligan's Island, but it's still an island.
Michael, I always love having you on the show because you are so freaking entertaining. So, I mean, even though I have to study for a test tonight, and if I had a super boring guest on, that's what I would be doing. But I know I won't be doing that with you because you are awesome. So what are you talking to us about tonight?
Well, we're going to talk about people.
People?
Yeah, and why people tick other people off. Is there another word we could use?
Well,
Yeah,
if
let's
you
just
can
say.
make one up that
Yeah,
doesn't
what
curse.
ticks other people off about us?
Okay.
We want to know that. My second book's called Law of Connection. In other words, there's rules or laws that if we follow them, we can connect well with somebody. Say yes if you're in.
We're in.
We're in.
Yeah, because I know that you know that I know that when we connect with somebody, we sometimes say, wow, like, hey, you're my new best friend. Call me every 5 minutes. Have you ever done that before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're my new best friend. And then sometimes it's like, I didn't really connect with them very well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's reasons for that, and you can't connect with everybody. One of the challenges is there's 4 styles, or there's 4 learning or 4 communication styles. Wouldn't it be nice if there's only one?
That would be nice.
Yeah, we wouldn't rub anybody the wrong way.
Right.
So I want you to get out your calculators. We're going to do a little bit of math.
Okay.
There's 4 styles.
Right.
One of them is our most dominant.
Right.
One of them is our least dominant.
That makes 2 others.
Okay. What is the probability in percentage that our partner or mate or classmate or mother or father or student or employee is the same style as us?
25%?
That's right.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, let's put our head, let's see the doom and gloom.
Beats a sweat.
What's the percentage that we don't match another person?
75%?
Yeah, that's pretty high. So there's lots of opportunities to tick people off.
Right.
So my book does these things. It's an NLP-based book, stands for Neuro, that's the brain. Linguistics, which is all words, which is everything we're going to do tonight. And then programming, which is things that I'm going to program in your brain just by the way I'm going to word the sentence.
By the way, you're welcome, Aaron.
Yeah. I'm an NLP master practitioner, so I'm stoked on this.
Oh, great. Good. So that's my job today. Actually, my job tonight is to brainwash some people, which
Awesome.
means I'm going to wash people's brains
Nice.
of the things that don't serve them. Say yes if you're in.
We're in.
Yeah.
You're in.
Now, it's just, who's with us tonight? Aaron?
Okay, so we have Aaron Howell of Heavy Mental Coaching. We have
Oh, hey,
Rachel
Aaron.
Hultin
Hi, Michael.
of Walk to Connect.
Hello,
And then, of course, we have me, Social Penetration Radio.
Okay, great. Well,
Awesome.
welcome, everybody. It's nice to have a dude on the line.
Right?
It's nice to
By
have
the
a
way,
dude too, dude. What's going on?
Oh,
Michael, this is one of the guys that I said, you know how you're looking to have a panel?
yeah.
This is one of the guys I think would be great for it.
Well, you know what? This week's panel, I think you're on it, aren't you?
I am?
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, no,
actually,
sorry, that's somebody else.
okay, I'm in class.
Yeah, every Friday at 9 PST, I have a panel, and they're usually lovely women. These are very talented women in the field of law of attraction, and the dudes are shy.
I am not.
I know. Listen, I did a show last week for single men. You know who the panel was full of? Gay men.
Oh yeah.
I did it for my straight friends, and just gay men showed up. And
It's because it's not okay for us to be vulnerable.
I know, man. Let's shake it up already.
Yeah, let's get it together already, guys.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay, so my job tonight. Are you one of those people that sometimes when you ask somebody a question about what time it is, they tell you yellow? In other words, they didn't really get your question. Are you the kind of person that catch yourself having to explain and repeat yourself sometimes? Or are you one of those people that just tick everybody off? I know it might not be you, but it could be somebody you know.
Number 2.
Number 2. Yeah, it's absolutely not you, but it's somebody you know.
I'm probably number 3.
So,
oops.
Well, tonight I'm going to explain why that happens, and most importantly, what you can do right after the call so you can start applying this to your life so you could be a better communicator to everybody. Say yes if you're in.
Yes.
You cannot not apply the information that you're going to learn tonight because I'm going to give it to you in such a format that I really see yourself doing it over the next few days. Say yes if you're still in.
Yes. Still in.
Oh, okay. If you're taking notes, and if you're not, you might want to.
Okay.
Tonight I'm going to talk about the 4 styles or the 4 ways people like to receive information. Well, why do I learn about that? Well, guess what? I have a book that sold 1.8 million copies, and you know what the number 1 comment is about my book?
What?
Oh my God! I love the way you wrote the book.
I do love
Just
the way.
matches my style. Say yes if you said that.
I said that.
Yeah. It's the number 1 compliment I always get. But what people don't know is get closer to the mic. Listen, I'm matching everybody's style.
Oh, you're so tricky.
I'm very tricky.
You
I'm
are.
matching everybody's style. So what are the styles? Well, one style is visual.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
that
my
means-
main one. What's
Yeah,
yours? Isn't that your
these-
main one?
Yeah, these people like to, they just like to talk in pictures. We're going to have a few examples. So the first one is visual. The second one is auditory. The third one is kinesthetic, and I'm going to spell it. It's Kinesthetic. And they're the touchy-feelies, right? And some people say, yeah, I already know this. Yeah, you know what? Go ahead and tell me that you know it already, but are you applying it? Because you're not, because guess what? There's not 3. How many is there?
4.
4? I didn't know there was 4. Well, you know, there's a group that resists these kind of assessments. You know why? Because they were never included. I'm going to say it again. There's a group of people, when you say, now we're going to do an assessment to find out your style, they've got their hands on their hips, resisting, because they never fit in any category before. So when I took my NLP training, my NLP trainer was this style. And she said, because everybody in other trainings, we talk about VAK, visual auditory. And she said, hey, what about my style? Don't tick me off. So she taught her style. And then when I started teaching it, I would have all these people say, oh my God, that's me. I always hated these. My hunch is some of you are thinking, get to it already. Okay. The 4th style is called digital. It's actually called auditory digital, but I just like to call it digital. The digital is like, if you picture a digital clock, 101, 102, 103. See how that's logical and orderly? They're the digital people.
Yeah, they are. That I know I'm not that. Isn't that your lowest one too, Rachel?
Yeah, it was definitely my lowest one.
Like I think I got 1.
I
on
test
that.
really high as an AD.
You do?
Kinesthetic AD. I do, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I test really high as one. ADs usually exhibit traits of others.
But you know
as
what
well.
drives me? Oh, listen to him. Oh, he's such a classic AD. Listen, you know what ADs love to do? They love to brag about the part that they're balanced in all 4 areas. Thank you very much. And they'll put their nose so high up in the air, they're going to trip over their socks.
Is it your sister one too?
My sister? Oh, yeah, my sister's one too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's very digital, and I'm very visual, so she's visual last. So we could set up for a lot. Well, we did when we first started working together. Anybody that works with me, plays with me, does projects with me, anybody I work with, all of my clients, I put them through the assessment, which is available for free at lawofconnectionbook.com.
Right, and we've posted it to our Facebook page.
Yeah, and and people go through that, and I change people's lives. For starters, people didn't know there was 4 styles. They thought there was one, their own. I mean, let's
That's
do
my
the math
favorite.
again. No, there's 4. So I'm going to tell you first how these people give themselves away through their words.
Okay.
We just have to learn how to listen differently. So I'm going to give you the first word, and then you guys are going to build on the list.
Okay.
Okay, visual people. I'm going to give the easiest one away. The word is look.
Okay.
So what are some other words that have to do with the eyes? I'm visual. What are some other words?
Vivid, bright.
See? Yeah, bright's a color, or it's for them it's lighter. Imagine.
At first glance.
Focus. First glance.
God, it's like
big picture.
It's like we're on a panel, and we should have buzzers.
Foresight.
Yeah.
Listen, one time I went to teleclass, and I said to the class, I said, "Okay, is everyone getting the picture?" Because I was talking about one woman would say, "Did you email one?" And I thought, "Did I email one? I don't know what she's talking about." And then she thought I was literally saying, "Did I get a picture?" So when people repeat your thing you just said, you didn't match them.
Got it.
Yeah. If I ask, for example, remember there's 4 styles, and if you're visual last, and I say, "So did you get the picture?" They'll tilt their head, and they have to go through 4 layers of styles to say, "Did I get the picture?" Now I'm going to give you a little story about me. I am a kinesthetic last. Doesn't mean I don't have feelings. It just means I don't operate from that place. I don't need to get a gut feeling for it. I don't use the feeling word too often. So when I travel, and I love traveling all over the world, you know what my number one question everybody asks me? But just pretend it's 3 days before I'm leaving. What question do you think people ask me? Are you
looking forward to your trip?
No, they never ask me
They
that.
never ask you that?
Are you excited? Are you excited about going to Hong Kong? And now I have to go through 4 layers to get to the answer. And now I just answer them back to this. I say, "I'm looking forward to going." And they say, "But are you excited?" And I say, "Well, yeah." So when I say I'm looking forward to going, that's the visuals way of saying we're excited. I don't have to use the excited word. Now, because I'm a flexible communicator, I'll let that go. But can you see where a fight would happen? When someone says, "Well, I don't care if you looking forward to it. Answer my question. Are you excited?" Can you see how people would get in a big rage over fights like that?
Agreed. Yeah, I can see that.
If I was training, like in my seminars, even during if you watch my Hangout with Michael show, I'm showing diagrams in my hand. And I'm repeating, I'm satisfying all 4 stuff. I promise training via a Google Hangout is the most effective method of teaching ever. When?
Fridays at 9 o'clock.
No, most effective teaching method where? Ever.
Oh, ever. Yeah.
Ever. People see it, they read it, they hear it, they see me do it, they see other people talk about it, they ask questions, they repeat after me. Every accelerated learning technique is engaged in that. And if I just use visual words, I would. What if I said, "Okay, is everyone getting the picture? Do you see what I mean? Does this look? Is this the big picture for you? Are you going to?" The people say, "Oh my God, he's driving me crazy."
Take a look at this. I want to show you something.
Yeah.
Look, let me show you. Is this clear? People saying, "You're not showing me anything. What's clear?" But that's the visual term. So I would tick off my audience if I did that. So we're going to change that up. We're going to introduce the second style. I'm going to give you the first word, and it sounds.
Okay.
Auditory comes from the ears. Okay, you guys build a list. Go ahead, please.
Hear, resonant.
Yeah.
Yeah, hear. Now, resonate or resonance. Now, here's what's really important.
Clear as a bell.
Resonance is auditory's word for feeling. So if you have an auditory friend, you wouldn't say to them, "How do you feel about that?"
It really resonates.
They don't do that. They get all twisted. But you ask them this question: "Does that resonate?" Because remember, the word resonate comes from the word resonance, which is about a sound. And they'll often say, "You know what? That resonates with me." Hey, listen, if your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or your boss or anybody in your life, there's auditory, they are because they talk all the time anyway. You just need to ask them, does that resonate with you? And they'll say yes before you answer the question. This is why you want to know who other people's style is. We're going to top off on the second hour. If you just joined us, we're talking about the 4 communication styles and what they are. The second half of today, I'm going to tell you how to detect somebody's style. Say yes if you're in.
We're in.
Yes.
Okay, good. So sounds, hear, resonate, clicking, rings a bell.
I don't know any other.
How's that sound? Sound
How's
good?
that sound? Yeah, just the word sound.
Which one are you the strongest one, Aaron?
I test higher as an AD, but as far as the other 3 go, auditory for sure.
Do auditory? So you said they never shut their pie holes.
Well,
I am a talker.
Don't make me pick on that group.
I am a talker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to pick on
they're
groups.
noisemakers.
Okay. I'm pretty high audit.
Yes.
You were too.
Right? They're the noisemakers. They're always making noise. And if they're not making noise with their mouth, they're slamming cupboard doors everywhere.
Oh my
They love to
God.
be heard.
My house
drumming
is-
on
Love
tables.
to be heard.
No, and you know what though? Mine auditory, I must need to take it again because visual was my second, kinesthetic was visual was first, kinesthetic was second, auditory was third. And I swear my house is like the loudest place in the world. I slam all my cupboards. My ex-boyfriend used to ask me if I learned how to whisper in a sawmill. Yeah.
Well, it's also, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Michael, but it's also
absolutely. But you won't be.
It's not about.
Go ahead, please.
It's not about putting people in boxes. And anytime you do any type of evaluation, whether it be modalities, preference test or anything like that, or even a Myers-Briggs or something of that nature, it's just a snapshot of where your thinking was at the moment of the time that you took the exam. People make minute changes from moment to moment.
This is pretty consistent, though, about, because I know parents know this about their children. Again, the second half, we're going to talk about how to detect when a parent says, you know what, I think my child processes auditorily, but I want to add to what you're saying. We're really clear here. We have all 4 of these styles.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, well, I use ring a bell. Yeah, we do. And remember, what was the distinction? Who can remember? One of them is our...
I don't remember.
One of them is most dominant.
Oh, okay. Most dominant and
one
least
of them
dominant.
is least dominant.
That's right. So we have all 4 of them, right? They just at different levels. Now, who is our challenge?
Our challenge.
What style challenges us the most?
The least dominant. The
Say it
least
again?
dominant. Right?
No, think about who would challenge us the most.
I don't know.
Look at the 4, but it's not a particular style. It's an order of style.
Oh, like number 4?
Yeah, our number 4.
Right.
So I'm kinesthetic last. So my biggest challenge, before I know what I know, would be the kinesthetic. I talk fast, they talk slow. I decide fast, they decide slow.
Okay.
So and to me, it's all about time. To them, it's all about connection.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let's skip the connection and get to work, but not with that style.
See, I'm all about time and connection. That must make me like the fastest fornicator in America. Let's get this done. Come on. Right. I'll be on top.
Yeah. It's funny. I met a new client on the phone yesterday, and we're in the very beginning. He said, now, I heard you say on your one of your hangout shows before that you don't really like to know all the personal chit-chat before a coaching session. I said, exactly. He said, well, let's get started. And that was within 45 seconds, and I was so proud of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to know about your dog and stuff. Really?
Mm-hmm. No, we do that around here. Actually, it's a good time for us to take a break. Can you hold on for just a second, Michael, so that people can wait for the juicy goodness that you're about to come back with? But we are listening to WCAS Radio on Auraria, and we're simulcasting from KMET Radio over in the Tivoli. This is Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back in a few.
What was your favorite book as a child? What was it about the book that made it so memorable? Books can spark a lifetime of ambition, and that starts with regular reading. We're calling upon everyone to unite as book people and encourage a child's lifelong love of reading. Book People Unite is the start of a movement to help more children develop a passion for books and learning. Help ignite a reading renaissance in America and join us as book person by visiting bookpeopleunite.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the Library of Congress. Reading is fundamental, and by WCAS Radio.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference could be you. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Take the pledge at unitedway.org and make a difference in the life of a child. A public service message brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council. WCAS cares when it counts.
Today, nearly 17 million kids struggle with hunger, and without free school lunches, many of them will miss meals this summer. But even though the school year might end, free meals for your kids don't have to. If your child relies on free or reduced price lunches, Feeding America can help provide them with food this summer. Help your kids stop worrying about food and start focusing on fun. Visit feedingamerica.org/summer meals to find your local food bank for help. Once again, that's feedingamerica.org/summer meals. Together, we're Feeding America. This message is brought to you by Feeding America, the Ad Council, and WCAS Radio.
Did you know that 17 million people will acquire a dog or cat within the next year, but there's still 2.7 million pets losing their lives in shelters? However, the percentage of pets in homes adopted from animal shelters and rescue groups has risen from 27% to 29% in the last 2 years. And encouraging statistics show that euthanasia of shelter pets is down 10% since 2009. By adopting, you can make a difference in the life of a shelter pet. A person is the best thing that can happen to a shelter pet. Be that person, adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Shelter Pet Project, and by WCAS Radio.
If you're a parent, you can't help but look at your child and wonder what the future holds. You may dream about the possibility of your son or daughter becoming a professional athlete or maybe a renowned heart surgeon. But while you're dreaming, consider this. The odds that your child will be diagnosed with autism are 1 in 88. Knowing the signs of autism and catching it early can make a world of difference to your child and to you. To learn the signs, visit autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Aid Council. WCAS cares when it counts.
To infinity and beyond!
WCAS has music that's out of this world.
It's Trial Run Radio from Central 108.
WCAS, our area.
Your best alternative.
And you're listening to Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. It's on WCAS Radio, Central 108, happening right now.
Yay. Yes, you are listening to Social Penetration,
Hooray.
where entertainment meets enlightenment. Michael, are you still there?
Yes. I'm
Yay.
here.
Bring it, buddy. Okay, so what's our next style?
Okay, for those of you that just joined us, I'm Michael Lozier. We're talking about why people can tick other people off. I know it might not be you, but it certainly could be somebody you know. We're going to cover the 4 ways people like to receive information. One way is our favorite, one way is our least favorite. The first one, we talked about visual. These are people they like the word look. They use the word look a lot. And then the auditory group, well, they like the word sound a lot. They like to hear stuff. They like to talk a lot. The third group is kinesthetic. Now, these are the touchy-feelies. So
They want to get their hands around it.
yeah, they want to grasp it, they want to touch it, and they want to feel it, like in the gut feeling. And some of us don't know what that means because we're not strong in that area, but we do have feelings. Let's write down the word for them is feel.
Okay.
Okay.
Good vibes, man.
Good. So another one they like to use is comfortable. Are you comfortable with this? If I was asking them the question, are you comfortable with this? You know, they like the word touch. They love the word connect. They love the word community. Can you hear all these little touchy-feely words?
Yep.
Their favorite word is together.
Yeah, let's just all get together and
Let's get
just
together.
see how we feel about it.
Hugs, kisses, all these kind of words.
I always say love your guts. What's that one?
Yeah, gut feeling.
Oh, yeah, that's about as kinesthetic as it comes.
Yeah.
It is.
And here's the number one most important thing to know. If your friend is kinesthetic and you want to stay in rapport with them and you want to change a subject, you need to ask them this. And it might be very uncomfortable for you to do it, but they'll just get it. The question is, does this feel complete?
Oh.
Does this feel complete?
And you're thinking, oh, I hate this question, but they'll say, you know what? Thank you. It feels complete.
Ah.
Here's I'd like to lay something concrete down for you.
Oh,
Just see how you feel about it.
show off.
I guess. Isn't he?
I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Yes.
No.
Now, you know what? There's an
Don't
important
stop.
word that I didn't give you under auditory is the word ideas. Now, even though idea is not a sound, you think it might be the head. These auditory people they have so many great ideas, which is one of their faults, right? They have so many great ideas, it's hard for them to stay focused, which is the visual word. But these are the, if you need to brainstorm anybody, well, first, why does the auditory group like to brainstorm?
Why does the auditory
Because
group?
they love the sound of their own voice.
Yeah, they get to shout out answers.
Yeah, they get to sit around and talk about it. I love brainstorming.
Yeah.
I love
talking with
brainstorming
people.
too.
And, so during the workshops, and I engage in all four styles. The auditory people, when I say, okay, there's two kinds of vibes. What are they? The auditories love it. But you know what the kinesthetics love at my seminar?
What?
Getting in groups of two.
Oh, yeah. Let's get in groups of
they
two
love
and
it. And a
work
group
through
of
this.
four, they're done. They love the connections. And so some of you are thinking, I'm not any of these styles. Now, just imagine I'm in doing my seminar, and I just explained something to my audience, and I'm going to ask I don't know whose style is what, so I have to use all of them. Let's pretend there's only 3 so far.
Okay.
Here's what I wanted to ask to check in with my audience. Let's just pretend I talked to them about there's 2 kinds of vibes, and I'll say, and listen to I'm going to pluck each word from each style. Okay. Okay. Does this look okay for everybody? Yeah. Does this sound okay? Everyone comfortable? Okay, great.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We haven't talked about that one, Mr. Smarty Pants.
Someone cut that out. Production, cut that out.
That's awesome.
So, and if I kept saying, "Is this everyone getting the picture? Do you see what I mean? Can everybody put a picture or frame around it?" Like, no, I have to. And there's a balance of that. But if I'm coaching you and I know you're kinesthetic, I'll put this list right on your file folder, and I'll ask words that are uncomfortable for me. So, okay, how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel? Is this comfortable? And and I'm joking right now. It's like I'm just rolling my eyes. How does it make you feel? It makes me a good coach because I'm matching their style.
Nice.
Even though I'm mocking them right now. Sorry, Betty, Sue, and Joanne. Okay, there are the 3 styles. Now, in comes the 4th style. Now, let's do this. On top of the word visual, I want you to draw an eyeball.
Okay, you're doing that, Aaron.
All right.
Okay. On top of the auditory, draw an ear. By the way, you can go online to lawofconnectionbook.com. You can fill out this survey, and then you can see this diagram there. It's very helpful. Kinesthetic, you could put a heart to show feelings and draw a hand. They like to touch.
Aw.
Okay.
And and digital, a brain.
Mm-hmm.
Or just put the word think, like the thinker. Okay, here's the main word for the digital group. The number 1 word for them is think. Okay, I heard you say one earlier, Aaron, which is the top second one, which is...
Makes sense.
Makes sense. That makes sense? When I do a seminar, the only group that doesn't participate verbally is the auditory people. Listen, the digital people. Listen until they're asked.
Okay. Why
until
is that?
I say, and you know where they sit? In the back. I'll say, "Can I hear from the back? What do you guys think back there? Is this making sense? Yeah.
Any thoughts on this? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they'll nod. So they'll participate when asked, but until then they don't need to ask. And they like to process. So write down the word process. They need to process information. My sister, who's digital, remember, I can make decisions on the phone in a conference call. I can make big decisions. With my sister, she is my sister, but with my sister rather, I'll often say this: I'd like you to be thinking about.
Uh-huh.
She loves it.
She does?
Yeah, and then she'll come back the next day and she'll say, I've been thinking about what you asked me yesterday, and she'll come up with a brilliant solution. But I can't laser ask her questions on the spot. She'll get all flustered. Yeah, so the questions are, I'd like you to be thinking about this. What are your thoughts on this? Can you think about this overnight?
Right.
Okay.
Does this meet your criteria? Like,
yeah. So let's go back to the thing. Let's put for the logic, order, think. We've got thoughts, track, as in on track.
Squared away.
Yeah, squared
Really?
away. Yeah.
I would have thought that was visual.
Not if you're meaning something like, is everything squared away?
Okay.
In other words, are all the things in order? Are all your papers squared away? Are all your thoughts squared away?
Or like compartmentalized.
Oh my God.
Very, very
they'd
digital.
restart the phone book if you put it on an
Puked
Excel
in my mouth a little bit.
They'd love it.
That's my last. That's
You
my.
ask them what time it is, they tell you how a watch is made.
Yes.
That's your dad, right?
Yeah, my dad's big time AD.
Good. So let's just do a quick recap of what we've learned so far. There's 4 styles. We use all 4 of them. We all have eyes and ears and hearts and brains, but one of them is our favorite way. Now, some of you might be having more. Listen to this. I'm going to use all 4 styles. Some of you might be having more clarity or better understanding. Maybe it's making sense better. This might be sounding like the reason why you didn't do good in school.
I do well in school.
Oh, you and Aaron are such show-offs.
Kind of, a little bit.
Kind of.
The both of you are just show-offs.
It's a little bit.
Stand right up in the front of the room and say, "Look at me."
That's true.
Okay, so there's 4 styles. One of them strong. Tonight we talked about the visual style, auditory, kinesthetic, and digital. Now, that is the 4 styles. And by the way, if your communication is going really well with somebody, you don't have to fix it. Right?
Right.
We're having a good time right now. We don't have to fix it. But if I was speaking too fast and I said, when someone repeats back what you just said, if I said, so are you guys getting the picture? And someone said, am I getting the picture? I thought, oh, they don't know what that means. So then I'd want to be more conscious. When you watch my show, Fridays at 9 at hangoutwithmichael.com, you'll probably start noticing how I'm communicating to all the 4 styles. And the best way to do that is engagement, and I deliberately ask questions like this.
Nice.
Actually, when my publisher, after my book sold 1 million copies, my publisher said, hey, you know how to write a book.
You do?
You know what the interesting thing is? When I first wrote my book, I went to the Los Angeles Fair and I printed off 50 copies at a local printer, and I went to the Large Book Expo like 11 years ago. My book's 10 years old now. 11 years ago, I went to a book expo in Los Angeles. It was massive, just massive books. And I went to different publishers, and they laughed. And they said, you're not thinking, the bookstores will not carry this. Look at it, it's got blank worksheets in it, and it's too much, it's too encouraging to people to write in it. And I said, yes, I know, I wrote it that way.
Right.
And they would say, well, how come there's a cartoon that fills up the whole page? And I said, I wrote it that way. And they just did not get it. And I remember I was with my assistant. We went out in the parking lot, and I started to cry. And I said, and I had a little bag on with my buttons and pins, and I had a T-shirt with a rubberized law of attraction book on my T-shirt, and I was in the parking lot crying. And I thought, oh my God! And I said, and I looked at Sandy, my sister. I said, I'm not changing one thing on this book.
Nice.
And we left a day early. I left a day early. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to self-publish it. So, and then and how it all started, I collected 2,500 names over a year. I ordered 2,500 books. The printer called me, said, your books are coming. I sent an email. I sold 4,000 books overnight. I called the printer back, and it never slowed down.
Wow.
And after people got the very first copy, within 3 days of mailing it, they were ordering 10. And some people, like in network marketing, direct sales, were ordering a box of 76. I mean, we couldn't even keep up to books. We were ordering them like at 100,000 at a time. And then when The Secret came out, everybody was talking about The Secret, but The Secret didn't really teach people how to do it. So people were finding my book, and my book was one of the rare books at the time that had the word law of attraction in the title. So as everybody was talking about The Secret, people were buying my book. So here it was. So now, and then Oprah had people on The Secret, and she mentioned the word law of attraction 16 times. And my book went from number 176 on Amazon to number 3, and it stayed there for 90 days, only because she didn't mention my book cover. She just said law of attraction. And even though she had the secret people on, they didn't look up the word secret. They looked up law of attraction.
Right.
So that's how that happened. And then Harry Potter was number 1, The Secret was number 2, and I was number 3.
Nice.
No way.
In 90
Cool.
days.
Nice.
And then after Oprah had people on The Secret, they did and this is my judgment, they didn't do a very good job, because the next day I got a call from Oprah's office saying, we're looking for someone that can explain law of attraction. And they end up buying a box of books and pass it all around the office. And 2 weeks later, I got a call and said, Oprah wants to interview you on her radio show. So I went to Vancouver to get on a satellite radio station. I was interviewed by Oprah. A minute later, I get back on the phone, in the studio. Before I left, the producer knocked on the glass. He said, hey, Oprah wants to talk to you again. And I put the headsets on, and I heard this. You heard from Michael last week. I brought him back for his second interview. And I did that 4 times. So I was the most interviewed guest on her Soul series. And when it aired, I was on her radio show every day, 3 times a day for 30 days.
Wow.
And the interview was so popular, a month later, I got asked to do my own show on Oprah and Friends Radio, and I did that for a year.
That's so awesome. That's
that
where I heard
awesome?
you doing law of attraction.
Oh, great.
You do great work on that too.
Now, Michael.
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was very different style. It was more call-ins. I'm really good at laser coaching.
What's that?
Well, just managing people's problems right away on the phone, and just getting to giving them a tool. Say, this is what you need to do.
Nice.
Yeah. So my show on once a month, I have what's called the viewer Q&A. So this Friday and next Friday, I'm going to have viewers on the panel, plus viewers watching, can ask questions, and I'll give them great tools and direction. It's very fun.
Very cool.
Aaron, do you think you know other straight guys that would be on a panel?
Well, it doesn't have to be straight guys, just men now.
Just men now.
Yeah, I know plenty of guys. I met a lot of really cool guys at Master Prac and Trainers training last summer, and there's some cool guys out there that I know for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather they resonate with me. That's the challenge. I say, oh, you know what? You're really going to like him. I love it. He's my great friend. It's like, I'll decide if I like him. So
right.
Yeah, I usually don't ask people to solicit for me. I'm going to do a vibrational solicitation.
I would never do that.
A V-sit. I just made that up right now.
What the hell is a V-sit?
It's a vibrational. I forgot now.
Well, we had a sex toy party a couple of weeks ago. That could have been one of the items that was on the list.
Well, listen, I have to tell you a little story about sex toy party. You were asking earlier about me eavesdropping on the conversation. So I've been to Las Vegas 3 times, 3 years in a row, for the annual convention of the company that sells where women do house parties, and they bring the lingerie and the toys, and they have fun. Those kind of house parties.
Oh, yeah,
that's what we had.
That's who we had in here.
Yeah, so I was the speaker. The trainer. I did a 3-hour law of attraction seminar. So I'm at the back of the room, and the 2 speakers before me. Oh my God! Well, not to mention, you should have saw the table. All the gift baskets and goodies were tall.
Yeah, they were here in the studio too. They were.
Oh my God! And so I bring my friend, who's a Las Vegas Chippendale dancer. He drove me there, and now there's a room full of 800 women with toys everywhere. And
nice.
I'm there. And we're just going to go a little bit deeper into the story because it's really funny. So they had a break. I go up on the stage, and I set up my little table, and I set up my prop. I won't tell you what it is. And I put a tablecloth over it, so you couldn't really tell what it is. It kind of looks like what they had on their table, ironically.
Right.
So I opened my seminar up, and just to connect with them, I said, one thing I like about traveling is my new bullet. I said, I travel with my bullet wherever I go. Now, for the gentleman listening, a bullet is a brand name of a woman's toy.
It is.
But my bullet, so listen to my story. So I'm telling you, I brought my bullet. I said, I just used it an hour ago in my room. And I'm going on and on. And I said, I wouldn't travel without my bullet. And then I lift up the napkin, and it was one of those bullets from K-Tel, the blender bullet.
Right. The magic
that's
bullet.
hilarious.
And I took my drink and I said, "Oh, the second time I used my bullet already. It's only 11 o'clock."
That's
It
so
was
funny.
so funny.
I actually had a mistake like that where I had a girlfriend's husband tell me that she wanted a rabbit for her birthday. And a rabbit actually can either be a wine opener or it could be a female self-pleasuring device. And my brain automatically thought the self-pleasuring device, oddly enough. And what's even stranger is that I owned both at the time. And you would think that I would know better, but I didn't. And so there we were in the melting pot down in Littleton, and she is pulling out what her husband thinks is going to be a wine opener, but instead it's a big fat. And she's actually very prude. They're not married anymore, probably because he thought that looked like a lot of fun.
I mean, I
and
suppose you could open a bottle of wine with it.
You
It would take a little
could.
while. but-
You could. Yeah, actually, that's a new invention. Seriously, we should do that one. Wine opener, dildo.
Yeah, it
Perfect.
takes care.
Yeah.
2 birds with one stone.
Okay, we digress.
We did.
Okay.
It was so fun.
Nice.
Okay, so 4 styles.
Okay.
We want to be more well-rounded communicators.
Agreed.
We just need to. So remember, I said in the second half hour, which we're going to start right now. We're going to start talking about how do I detect somebody's style. I mean, I don't want to have to say it to all my friends. Remember, the time to pay attention to the styles are when the communication isn't working.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh my God, I'm making a mess here.
Does our communication work, Aaron?
Most of the time.
Okay. I thought it worked all the time. I love that.
We meet on our auditory level.
Okay. Where we never shut our pie holes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you allow each other to brainstorm and exchange your ideas, it's very good. That's probably what you like.
Oh yeah.
We're awesome at that.
Yeah.
We closed out a restaurant the other night.
And my style would to harness you in, to make you focus on one thing.
Because you're a high visual.
And then you wouldn't like me. Yeah.
Focus is tough.
Because you would think that I'm cornering you.
Although I like to get stuff done. I am a doer. I get my highest is visual.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm thinking, you know what? My friend Betty or my employee or my girlfriend or boyfriend, there's some things that they just tick me off. I got to know more about their behavior. I'd like to know what my friend is. I'm not going to send them to lawofconnectionbook.com to do it, but here's how you're going to find out. 2 tips. Number 1, how they answer an email, how they end an email. So I'm going to ask each one of you. So so let's look at the words under the visual column. How do you think a visual person ends their email or a phone conversation?
See you later.
See you later.
See you later. And then your friend writes back and says, "Where? Where am I seeing you? I'm not seeing you. We don't have a meeting."
And I say that all the time, even on the radio. See you there.
Yeah. See you later. So that's an important word.
See you next week.
Later. You're thinking, oh, my friend just said see you later. Now, am I pigeonholing? Yes. Am I generalizing? Yes.
Okay.
Am I accurate? Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to auditory people. How do they end a conversation?
Talk soon.
Talk soon. Talk again.
Yep.
Nice chatting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good talk.
Yeah, good talk. Nice chat. We'll chat again. Kinesthetic, how do they end email conversation or
love?
Love you. Hugs and kisses.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, let's connect again soon.
Yep.
No, you go first. No, you say goodbye first. No, you do it. No, you go first. Pookie there.
I'll be in touch.
It's like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in touch. Or keep in touch. I'll be in touch. Now, how do our auditory digital friends end a conversation and communication? It's only one word.
Best, sincerely.
What is it? Regards?
No, you're just trying to sound good. It's just one word. It's only $3 long, if you get it. What is it?
Bye.
Bye. If you get it.
Do you? We never
Yeah,
email.
my dad doesn't say anything. It always drove me nuts when I was a kid. My dad just goes, It's like, say goodbye.
They don't say goodbye.
No, my dad just hangs up.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah, no, that's definitely why I'm not digital. Because I'll say, see you later. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say cheers, but I don't even know what style it goes to. And it's, you know.
The party style.
Yeah. You know what my real secret and the best way to communicate with me, and my assistant sister knows it. I have trained her only to ask one question per email. Because if I open up an email and it's a big paragraph with 4 questions in it, I'll send it back to her and I said, you know what? I will sit on this all day.
Mm-hmm.
So now, this is what it'll say in the subject. Can you take 30 seconds and answer these 2 questions? Isn't she brilliant?
Mm-hmm.
That is brilliant.
Yeah. Or sometimes if there's an offer for me to go somewhere, to travel or do a seminar, she screens everybody. And listen to this. She had a friend help her design this sentence. You have to listen to this one. Can you see yourself going to China to do a 2-day seminar? And I just sit back and I say, you know what? I can see myself there. Let's do it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Or do they ever ask you to take a look at a proposal, something like that? Can you take a look at this proposal? And
no, I wouldn't be good at that. I don't really like lots of detail.
See, I don't like detail either. And as a matter of fact, my ex-boyfriend and I would do fix and flips together, and he would do these like intricate spreadsheets and email them over to me. And I would double click on it, find out it was a spreadsheet, and double click back it closed. Yeah.
Well, I don't mind spreadsheets, they're numbers, but right now I'm writing my 3rd book and I'm really, really challenged, staying focused on it and writing it. And good. Okay, so that's how you find out their style. You just pay attention. What words are they using? And then honestly, if you could keep a little cheat sheet beside the phone and just pay attention, people will give themselves away just in their conversation.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I'm about to go to court next Tuesday. I have to testify, and it already hurts my brain when they sent me the questions that they were going to ask me this morning, and there were 63 questions.
Yeah.
My effing report is only 3 freaking pages long.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you need to ask me 63 questions? By the way, and this is the side that's supposed to be, that I'm supposed to be testifying for, not the opposing side. So is there a way that I guess maybe I'm finding out their style of questions?
Well, just the mere fact that you have to. So in a case like that, I would have somebody read you those questions.
Okay.
So you know what, Erin, can we go for coffee? And can you read me these questions?
Okay.
You could listen to them, right? Yeah, and Erin would love to read them.
Oh yeah, I'd love to read them and talk about them.
Yeah, talk about them. And get the backstory, right?
Yeah.
All the backstory. It was so funny. I had my auditory friend here, and we were watching the X Factor, American Idol, one of the singing shows, and we had it recorded. I'm fast forwarding right to the singer starts to sing, and you know what my auditory says? I want to hear the backstory.
Right.
The visual says, I just want to get right to the point. I don't want the back, and that's why I don't like the voice. The voice has more backstory than it does the voice going on. It drives me crazy.
Oh, my mom must be auditory because she loves that show.
Oh, the auditories love the backstory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've
love
never
stories.
seen that show.
I love stories. I would play video games just for the story, just to have the story unfold. I have trouble reading. Books. I mean, I read a lot, but I end up repeating paragraphs a lot because I'll read something and all of a sudden my brain will go, man, that reminds me of a time that I was hanging out and that reminds me I got to go pick up the laundry and the internal dialogue just starts flying.
And I can read a book. I'm the fastest reader I've ever known. Yeah. I just need to just look at it and just be done with it.
That's a question for you, Michael, that I have. This is a question that would help me out a lot. As a really heavily auditory person, is there a way that I could improve my reading retention and reading speed?
I don't know. I don't know if there's any direct relationship to that. I could give you a tip that might save a lot of conflict in your life that you might not be having, but another auditory person might be. And it's just one word that auditory people use that gets them in trouble. And I'm going to give you a scenario. My friend texted me and said something about dinner. I texted my friend and I said, hey, I'd love to go to Ithaca, I said, I'd like to go to Ithaca restaurant. My friend said, that sounds like a good idea. And what did I hear him say?
Yeah,
we're going.
Yeah, that's
right.
I heard that.
That's what I heard.
So it's 6 o'clock, and I texted him. I said, I'm just getting in my car. And he said, why? I said, I'm picking you up. We're going for dinner. He said, I did say I'm going for dinner. I said, yes. He said, I said it sounded like a good idea. Just like, I said, so when you say that, do you mean like that sounds like a good song? He said, kinda. It just sounds like a good idea. So
it doesn't mean yes.
Yeah, that's not a contract.
Yeah, it was my fault not to say. So when you said it sounds like a good idea, did you mean yes or no? And I've saved a lot of relationships over this sounds like a good idea.
Gotcha.
So if you use sounds like a good idea, you could be more clear about what that means, or better understanding about what that means.
Cool.
Hey, we need to go to a break, guys. Hold on one second. You are listening to Michael LOSIER. He's the author of Law of Connection, and he's right here on WCAS Auraria and KMET, the Tivoli.
Just like we think our pets do funny things, they probably think the same about us. Like, why do we talk incessantly onto those things we call cell phones? Or why do we always hide their toys in the same places? But despite any funny habits you may have, a shelter pet will love you no matter what. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by Ad Council and the ShelterPetProjects.org and by WCAS Radio.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures from UNCF. Your investment can help students go to college, which makes the future better for everybody. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A message from UNCF, the Ad Council, and WCAS Radio.
Just like we think our pets do funny things, they probably think the same about us. Like, why do we talk incessantly to those things we call cell phones? Or why do we always hide their toys in the same place? But despite any funny habits you may have, a shelter pet will love you no matter what. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference could be you. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Take the pledge at unitedway.org and make a difference in the life of a child. A public service message brought to you by the United Way and the Ad Council. WCAS cares when it counts.
Did you know that 17 million people will acquire a dog or a cat within the next year? But there are still 2.7 million pets losing their lives in shelters. However, the percentage of pets in homes adopted from animal shelters and rescue groups has risen from 27% to 29% in the last 2 years. And encouraging statistics show that euthanasia of shelter pets is down 10% since 2009. By adopting, you can make a difference in the life of a shelter pet. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Shelter Pet Project, and by WCAS Radio.
Driver, personal shopper, financial manager, nurse, and daughter. At AARP, they understand the many roles caregivers play. That's why they created aarp.org/caregiving. It's an online resource center that connects you with experts and other caregivers. Together, we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to learn more. Brought to you by AARP, the Ad Council, and by WCAS Radio.
Sick of school already? Don't worry, we'll keep you rocking.
They rock out.
You guys rock!
Play my kind of music.
Yeah! On WCAS Radio.
And Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. It's on WCAS Radio, Central 108, happening right now.
By the way, that's Aaron saying that. That's his music too. Who knew? Are you still there, Michael? Oh, we lost
Did
him.
we lose him?
I think we lost him. He'll call back. I would think. Hold on. Well, we might have just lost Michael. Will you push that button that says hang up right there? Right there. Okay. So we'll wait for him to call us back.
Yeah, oh, there he is.
There he is. Hold on.
And you're listening to Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. It's on WCAS Radio Central 108, happening right now.
You're really good at this, Stacey.
I am.
I'm not being facetious. You're really good at this.
Are you being facetious? You
No,
are being
I'm
facetious.
really not being facetious.
Your face looks facetious.
No, you're really good at this.
You're being facetious.
I am not at all.
How
And
do
I
you-
would have told you by now if I was.
Okay. No, he wouldn't tell me by now. He's
No,
making fun
I
of me, I
would.
think.
I am not. I adore you. You're really good
I know,
at
but
what
it
you do.
doesn't mean that I'm good at this.
You're very good at it.
Okay. Hi, Michael. Hey, everybody. We're talking to
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Losier from the Law of Attraction and Law of Connection is what we're discussing tonight here on WCAS Auraria, simulcast from KMET Radio. Okay. So let's get back to business.
Okay. Is there any way that we can get callers? Is that possible?
You know what? When we're on the phone, we can't get callers. So
Okay. I just wanted to have some real life scenarios
yeah.
to help people, how to figure this stuff out in their life.
Agreed. Well, I wanted to. Okay. So, but didn't you have something, Aaron, that you were going to talk about?
Huh? No.
Oh, I thought that you had a question. Well, yeah, I guess we can't get callers tonight. Does that bum you out?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Just wanted to teach people, how to, let's just say, for example, parents, right? They've got kids.
Mm-hmm.
They could have 4 kids that have 4 different styles.
Agreed.
So it's going to sound like a lot of work, but you can get your children to do stuff differently, if you ask them the right question in the right way. Like the question, can you see yourself getting your homework done within 30 minutes?
No.
For example, go onto the visual column. One thing that's really important to visual people is time.
Okay.
Everything's about time. When does it start? When does it end? How long is it going to be? And by golly, if you say it ends at 7 o'clock, it better be not 7:01. Is 7:01 late?
Yeah. Although I'm a visual person, but although I am bound by the clock all the time.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but I'm also ridiculously overscheduled with school and work and volunteering and whatever.
Well, calendar's important.
Yeah. No, my calendar is important and it looks insane.
Yeah, so time's very important, and it's what can tick a visual person off the most if you frig up their time. Cancel an appointment, be late, run over time, take up too much time explaining stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you tick a visual person off.
Yeah, I can be the same way.
Now, auditory people, what's something that's important to them, some people might say it's a value of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's very important to them, is fairness.
And this one is which type?
The auditory.
Auditory, like fairness.
Things need to be fair. Boy, you can push push their buttons if something's not fair to them.
Oh, that's so funny because
They're
I'm always
fighters, they're lawyers, they're always in the court system, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're arguers. Some of my friends get so ticked off about stuff, and I always say, are your fairness values being challenged right now? They say, yes. How did you freaking figure that out?
Well, and
I had no idea. That's
funny because my friend Rachel is always saying, well, that's not fair. And I'm like, dude, you're 36 years old.
Yeah.
It's like,
it'll be her word when she's 88 years old.
See, I didn't know that was related to rep systems. I thought that was related to judge or perceiver type of things, but
well, it is it's a common denominator that auditory people have. So that's
that's fascinating.
Between you and I, and I'll say it respectfully, is all the jargon, right? I don't care what category it falls under. They're auditory. I'm just saying, here's auditory people. They, for them, being they're very sensitive to fairness.
That's very cool, and it makes sense.
And here's the other thing that I just did on purpose. You can be blunt with them. Blunt with any other style. You can't be blunt with kinesthetic people. You hurt their feelings.
They get hurt.
and the visual people will write you off on a friggin' dime and a friggin' heartbeat.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, that's pretty funny.
Absolutely.
That's pretty funny.
So I have a client that's very auditory, and she talks and talks and talks, and I often cut her off. And if anybody was in the room, they would say, "You are rude," but not to, I said, "Okay, you know what? We're going to need to cut back on the story." But here's the thing that, and even in my book, Law of Connection, I talk about how it's important when you're coaching an auditory person. First, we're going to back up a little bit. When I'm coaching a visual person, what's the most important thing that's important to them?
Time.
Time. Start on time, end on time. And visual people, they like to come in with a report card. Here's what I did last week. Boom, boom, check off, check off, check off, check off. See how fast everything is with visual people? That's how you support them.
Yeah, I love that. I love just like, if I have a meeting with somebody, like, let's just nail this out. Let's just get it done.
And when somebody's opposite that, that's when you can get irritated. So just know that that's a strength of yours, but it might break rapport with another style.
Gotcha.
Yes. I forgot what's going with my train of thought. So auditory. What was the example I just gave you?
That auditory. Hold on. That auditory don't like, or the most important thing to auditory. What was
fairness?
Is fairness.
Fairness. Yeah.
And the most important thing to visual is get it done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was talking about coaching. So around fairness and coaching. So here's the thing: coaching the auditory people. Now, because my style is let's get right to business, I could break rapport with 3 other styles. You think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the auditory person, and right on their file folder, you know what it says at the top? Give them 10 minutes to get it all out of their system.
Do you need that, Aaron?
And I'm listening. Oh, I got this idea and this idea. And my head would thinking, but we're already working on 3 things. But they're not saying they want to work on them. It's just ideas. Remember I said, here's an idea. And before I said, no. We're not talking about new ideas tonight. We're focusing on this. And they would say, what don't you do to an auditory person?
Shut
them up.
Okay.
So you want to...
like I did to Aaron earlier? Sorry, buddy.
I hear the story. So it's like, okay, you know what? You're paying me by the hour. If you want to give me 10 minutes of backstory, go ahead.
Yeah, my coach generally has to reel me in after a while. Otherwise, I'll just tell her everything's going... Like, I will just unload for the first 10, 15 minutes of the session. And then she goes, okay, well, let's zero in on something here.
Okay.
You know,
Gear down, big
it's important
shifter.
for you to be honored about that. That is your style. And, when people learn about this, they think they have to correct everything. You say, no, that's my style. So we need to own that. So, and you might be doing it already, Aaron, but when you work with somebody, you said, you know what my style is? You know what? For the first 10 minutes, you don't have to write anything down. I just got all this great stuff after me. I just want to tell you about all my new ideas. Then we'll get to work.
Right.
Or you could save lots of frustration with another person, but don't change your style.
Right.
You have to prepare people for your style.
Well, and work from your strengths to develop areas you might not be quite as developed.
That's right. So you're more balanced. That's the goal here, is to be more balanced.
Because earlier tonight, we couldn't let Rachel finish her story. Neither one of us.
And we're doing it to Michael.
And now we're doing it to Michael. And but no, I just literally had to tell Aaron to okay, shut your pie hole. We got to let her finish her story.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the kinesthetic friend. And so what's important to them is
touchy-feely. Yep.
It's connection. They don't care about anything else until there's connection. So they don't need the first 10 minutes to tell you about their ideas. They need 10 minutes when you're coaching them. And what are the first 10 minutes about?
I love you. I'm so glad you're here. That kind of touchy-feely crap.
Expressing their feelings, being comfortable.
And what's going on, a lot of personal stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, way too much personal stuff for me.
I'm just feeling, I don't know, I'm just feeling really sorrowful today. I'm just really sad.
I have that not so fresh feeling.
So they like to do a lot of that kind of stuff, which is not my style. And sometimes I can rush them, but they're opposite my style. They don't, I can rush them a lot. So one of the things with kinesthetic, as you're coaching them, this is very important to understand, is that they're very challenged to make decisions. So you don't take them to Baskin Robbins 31 flavors.
Gotcha.
Ever. Take them to the vanilla chocolate store.
Okay.
And you're gonna think I'm making fun of their style, but here's what happens: when you give a kinesthetic person multiple choices, part of them feels bad for the choice they're not choosing.
Oh no, we actually studied this in positive psychology.
I know.
Yeah.
How can you feel sorry for the chocolate ice cream because you didn't choose it? So that's why you say you don't. So any men out there, when it comes time, or anybody rather, dealing with somebody that's kinesthetic, and you don't say, you wouldn't say to them, hey, where do you want to go for dinner tonight? No. Here's how you do it. Do you want to go to Remo's or Ithaca tonight? I'll get back to you. You know what they have to get?
What?
A gut feeling.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we don't even know what that means, but there is, some people get a gut feeling. I know. So that's how you communicate well to somebody. You don't make them choose. I mean, you don't make them creative and come up with a list of ideas. They'll get a lot of anxiety over that project. Oh, they'll get stressed out and everything.
Okay.
You know why? Because they're going to want to get it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had girlfriends like that.
Very important to them. So when you're coaching them, you have to allow time for all that personal touch.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All that touchy-feely stuff. And then the digital.
Digital?
Yeah.
One of their highest values is trust.
Okay.
Yes. And one of their challenges is to mistrust in the future.
Okay.
Right.
I don't understand either one of those. Explain.
Okay. So it's not that, I need to trust you, but they need to have a knowingness that they're going to trust the process or trust the future.
Okay.
Right. And you might not relate to it because I don't, because it's not our style. Just
right.
Like we don't know really what a gut feeling means to make decisions. Like you and I get a gut feeling sometimes. Imagine having it to have to make a decision.
Yeah.
So where is all this going?
I made that decision 8 minutes ago. Now I get the feeling.
Yeah.
Right? So for the digital people, they like to have a knowingness. And a knowingness might be their way of having a feeling. I'll ask Aaron about that word.
Okay. Yeah. What? Okay. I don't understand this one. So they have to know that, they're not going to drink anybody's Kool-Aid unless they trust that person 100%.
Okay, here's for an example.
Okay.
When I'm coaching when I'm coaching a digital person, it's not an open-ended ideas bank.
Okay.
They need to know they need to know that there's a beginning and an end, and it's all contained.
Okay.
In other words, it's a project.
Right.
Okay.
They might even like if I say, let's break the project into 4 phases. They might even like that as well. But it wouldn't be like, you know what? Why did you hire me as a coach for 6 months? They wouldn't want that. Not all of them, but that's not their style.
Okay.
Like, you know what? I'd like to hire you to help me with this project and help me make sense of the project.
Okay.
And help me put the tasks in order and that kind of thing. And then they have a trust around that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that one going on at all.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so what are the steps? Where are we ending up? Okay. So how do we proceed?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not about, and digital people have great thoughts around all that stuff. So they don't need as much creative juice.
Okay.
Right? They need more logic, making sense of things, how it works.
Yeah, because if I have a meeting with someone and it becomes a project where there's still stuff that needs to be done when we're done, that is an unsuccessful meeting to me.
Yes.
It is. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
We like how you were talking about that you go through your email every day. I go through my email, I don't know, probably 10 times a day, because right now I'm getting over 400 emails a day. But I clean out my email box all the time. And then I don't look at it until it's next time to clean out my email box. Yeah. Because I can get overwhelmed.
And sticking to the subject here of the digital people, I want one of their questions that they ask a lot of, which drives some of us crazy. I'm not really suggesting that we're all crazy, just a few. Is, what if?
That's digital. Oh, I hate when.
What if this happens? And what if it doesn't rain? And what if that doesn't work?
And if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. That's what that is always my answer to what if. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. I hate that. What if? But it didn't happen. And why are we ifing things that, let's not go down that road. Do you what if, Aaron?
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. No, I would if a little bit.
You do?
Yeah, well, I mean, but I take a structured planning approach to figuring things out.
Okay.
Yes. And the kinesthetic person, their famous question is why? Why does that feel that way? Why are you doing that? Because you know what the answer to every why question is?
What?
A feeling. That's their favorite. I hate why questions. Hate them. Why are you doing that? Because I want to.
Yeah, I don't
No,
really.
But why?
I don't love why.
Yeah, I don't love why. And auditory people is where.
Okay.
Where could I improve this? Where could I make this better?
I'm kind of one
They're
of
improvers. And then our visual friends, well, our favorite question is when.
Oh yeah.
So,
no.
when does it end?
Time.
When?
Mm-hmm. Or I mean, when can we get started? That's my big one. If we
When
just
can
come
we
up
get
with an
started?
idea, when are we doing that? I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, you want to go for a walk sometime?"
Yeah.
Why not right now? When are we doing that? Let me put it in my calendar.
Whereas I would want to know. So where are we going with all this? Where are we in relationship with all that?
I'm like, who cares where?
Yeah.
Or
Where are we on all that?
Well, I think we learned a lot of information
We
tonight. And
did.
I want people, I've done 76 Hangout shows. These are half-hour live shows that I do, and they're all available on my Hangout with Michael website. I've done 8 of them on, first I did 4 of them on each one of these styles, and they're really, really well done. And I had guest panels on, and we took one style and ripped it apart and had fun with it, and it's really, really helped a lot of people. So I'm very proud of all the work that I've done around
Yes, and you are brilliant. And just in case people don't know who we're listening to, this is Michael Losier. And again, his website is hangoutwithmichael.com. It's 10 o'clock Mountain Time, actually, that your podcast is on, or your Hangout is on, 9 o'clock on the Pacific Time. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Michael. This has been incredibly informative. I really appreciate it.
I knew that Aaron would pee his pants when you were on the show.
Oh, I love it. It's great.
Listen, we're going to do another show down the road. First, we did the Law of Attraction. And in my next book that I'm working on for 5 years, how many?
5.
5. How will I know it's done? I'll know it's done when it looks done.
Right.
So it's called fulfillment needs.
Okay.
And I have come up with a process, because I'm a process how-to guy.
Yep.
I've come up with a process that people have to do on worksheets that will help them uncover their top needs that would fulfill them. Most people complain about not being fulfilled. They don't know what it mean to be fulfilled. So I coined the term fulfillment needs.
Okay.
And I started off with 30 of them in the process. By the end of the book or the end of the process, you'll say, here's my top 4 needs. And now that you know that, you can make different decisions.
Nice.
What's important in relationships, what's important in jobs. So I'd like to talk about that.
That would be awesome. When are you wrapping that up?
Wrapping it up. Sure. I'm working on it, yes.
Okay, cool. And well, you'll come to Denver sometime soon. I know that you have that in the works some days.
Be invited to come to Denver.
Yes.
You have a standing
good
invitation.
Marketing, we could get a lot of people out, have a lot of fun.
Agreed.
So why don't we put that in our things to do bubble?
Agreed.
Denver.
It is in my things to do bubble.
Okay. Hey, the last time I did this was in November. And I went to my map and I put a little pin on China. A week later, I had an invitation.
Nice.
In January, I went to China. No, I only went for a day. I went to China for one day to do a conference.
Oh, my God.
There was 400 hoteliers from 40 countries.
Whoa.
I think we stayed at the Better Duck Inn.
Oh,
no. This hotel was so opulent. When I pulled up in the car that the hotel picked me up in,
nice.
They had somebody come out to the car, a man and a woman came out to the car, took me to my hotel room, to register.
Nice. Wait.
You registered in the room.
Is that
just so opulent? And then there was a pillow menu, and a guy wheeled up with a stack of pillows. There was everything from buckwheat. It was just too much. I was overwhelmed.
Oh my God, I'm soiling myself thinking about that. I love my pillows.
I love all of them.
Is that a visual thing to love that opulence? Because
I love
the Louvre.
Yeah,
the Louvre. I mean,
it needs to look good.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, even when I go to other countries, Kuala Lumpur and all, the 5-star hotel, that's my best thing ever. I'm always looking forward to seeing what the hotels are like.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes after a seminar, like at 9 o'clock at night, sometimes I'll be 800 people at a seminar. After a seminar, I don't socialize. People like to go for drinks and the organizers, but we've been working well before that.
Sure.
So it's really rare that I go do anything. But my favorite thing to do is I love going back to the room, taking a shower, and going into the crisp white 400 thread count Egyptian cotton sheets from nice hotels that have 8 stacked up pillows and a menu that's all in Asian with Asian foods.
Yummy.
Oh,
that
my laptop. Love
it. Thanks so much for joining us again, Michael.
To have room service and then flew home the next day.
Oh, that's crazy.
Hey, Michael, maybe I'll see you in BC this summer. Actually,
yes.
I'm going up to do the summer intensive with the Erickson College up there.
Oh yeah, in Vancouver.
Yeah. So I'll look you up.
Yeah, I'm not in that city, but you can look me up. I'm close.
Awesome.
I live on an island, just like Gilligan's Island.
Right?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And your favorite restaurant's Ithaca.
Ithaca, yes. I love that I said that.
I
I
know.
actually have created so much business for them. Yes.
Awesome.
Hey, I was fun.
Thank you, Michael. Have a great night.
Okay. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Love that dude.
Yeah.
Love that dude.
That was good stuff.
I'm gonna push or will you push the hang up button for me?
I'm learning.
I love it. Yeah.
And I helped.
And actually, you're listening to WCAS Auraria, and we're simulcasting from KMET in the Tivoli. This is Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. We're going to go to another break.
Okay.
Monsters. They could be living under the bed or in the bathtub, on the dresser, even on the kitchen counter. For a child with asthma, it can seem like monsters are everywhere. The fact is, their next asthma attack could be triggered by something as innocent as a teddy bear or a dripping faucet, even the toys in your bathtub. And it's up to you to make their monsters go away. Fortunately, there are simple ways you can help. From putting stuffed animals in the freezer for a few hours to kill dust mites, to drying bath toys and turning on the bathroom fan to prevent mold. Keeping pets out of the bedroom to reduce dander, and wiping up food crumbs that can attract pests. They're easy to do, and they're part of a complete plan that can help put an end to your child's asthma attacks. Learn more at noattacks.org or call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS, because their next breath is in your hands. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
Kids spend a lot of time on all sorts of ridiculous things. They'll spend ages watching funny online videos or 197 straight minutes playing a video game about alien picnics, which means they can spend 2 minutes just twice a day brushing their teeth. Tooth decay is the single most common chronic childhood disease. That's why brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. To find out more, visit tunein2x.org. 2 minutes, twice a day, they have the time. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, the Ad Council, and WCAS Radio.
Today, 50% of jobs require some technology skills, and 80% of teachers give homework online. Whether it's finding a job, helping your children with homework, or connecting with friends and family, it is vital that every American have the digital literacy skills they need to succeed. Call 1-855-EVRY-1ON or visit everyoneon.org to find free internet and computer training classes in your area. That's 1-855-EVRY-1ON or on the web at everyoneon.org. Brought to you by Connect to Compete, the Ad Council, and by WCAS Radio.
Want to make a difference? Live United. United Way is creating real, lasting change and doing it where you live by focusing on the building blocks of a better life. Education, income, and health. Help create opportunities for everyone in your community. That's what it means to live united. Go to liveunited.org to learn more. A public service message brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel over a mile, carrying a world of trouble. It can land, ignite, and destroy your home and community. With simple steps to adapt to wildfire, like cleaning areas around buildings, knowing community safe zones, you help protect your home and community from wildfire damage. But becoming fire adapted is more than one person can take on alone. It takes a community to protect a home. Visit fireadapted.org today for more ways to help protect your home and community from wildfires. A public service message from the U.S. Forest Service, the Ad Council, and from WCAS Radio.
Spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word.
About what?
WCAS Radio.
And you're listening to Social Penetration, where entertainment meets enlightenment. It's on WCAS Radio, Central 108, happening right now. Now.
Oh my God, you're making fun of your dang self.
That's what you sound like.
That's
Imagine
awesome.
listening to that all day.
Really? That's funny. Speaking, you know what? A couple of things I want to talk to you about.
What?
Well, first of all, speaking of connection, one of my buddies is texting me that I am in her wedding in July.
Oh, cool.
And who asks me to be in their wedding unless you are cuckoo?
Nah,
Actually, no,
I
that's
would love
cool.
to have you at a
I
wedding.
would.
If I ever get married again, you're coming
Okay.
to my wedding.
Okay, cool.
You can be
And
my
by-
best man.
And by the way, I will put the smack. I will let you know, like, speak now or forever hold your peace. Don't kid yourself. I am that girl.
No, I would cut that out. Well, I had a problem with my first marriage. I had a problem with that. Actually, Jerry, the hot dog man,
Right.
at my wedding, he did not care for my ex-wife and made it pretty clear. And at the point where
but your wife to be.
well, yeah, but we didn't even do the speak now or forever hold your peace. Jim Norris from Three Kings officiated the wedding.
Okay.
And he doesn't add that into his wedding ceremonies because his feeling is that's nobody's business, you know.
Okay.
But when I put the ring on her hand, it was dead silent. You could hear a pin drop, and Jerry just goes, "Don't do it." And my mom slapped him in the face.
God.
My mom slapped him in the face and threw him out. We got married at
Wow.
Le Central over on Lincoln.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite restaurants.
My mom threw him out.
Really?
It was
Oh
funny.
my God. And little did you know, he might be like he's the one that you should listen to the most.
He's my guardian angel.
Yeah. What made you think it was a good idea?
To get married?
Yeah.
I was a much different person then,
Okay.
Stacey.
Okay.
And it was, I loved her, and at the same time, there was a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to do the right thing.
How old were you?
I was 20. How old was I when we got married? I was 28.
Huh.
I think.
I wasn't ever thinking about marriage at 28,
I was
even
tw-
a tiny little bit.
We had been together a long time, and she had.
How long had you been together?
We had been together 5 years.
Okay.
At
That's a
that
long
point.
time.
Yeah, we had been together 5 years. We started dating when she was 19.
Wow.
And she turned 20 like 3 weeks after we started dating. And we had just been together a long time, and it was not necessarily a match made in heaven, but neither one of us had the guts to end it. It was a very codependent type of thing.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot from the experience.
Yeah,
And,
no, you do.
and I take it as a learning thing. And speaking of which, I think next week I'm going to do some power reading, but I just got 2 Harville Hendricks books in the mail. Keeping the Love You Find and Getting the Love You Want.
Okay.
And doing a lot of imago research.
Good.
Learning
I'm gonna
a lot
have
of that
to,
type of stuff.
I'm going to have, you know what, our listeners, can our listeners get involved in that? Or are you doing the imago stuff with Heather or I or me?
It's up to you.
I don't
Which would
care.
you rather do?
I would rather have it be me just out of greed,
Right.
but I would rather have it be Heather because of time. But you know what?
She
Sounds
does get
like
very short answers to things, doesn't
well,
she?
well, no, I mean that time, like I have 2 big tests and then I have another one on Tuesday and I also have a paper.
Well, how about we all do it? How about
Okay.
we all do it privately, and then we'll break it down.
Okay.
We'll unpack it on the air.
Okay. Will you send me the stuff?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Okay.
It's
and
it's really eye-opening.
I don't have time to read, and
visuals.
I've read them both, but I mean, like a long time ago. So I'm going to have to do Audible.
Did you do the work?
I did the Imago work, yeah, when I was like 21 years old.
Really?
Mhm.
Very
Sure I did.
cool.
You
I'm
just-
I'm in the middle of a tremendous amount of work in just like the second chapter of
Yeah.
Keeping the Love You Fun.
I basically need people's undivided attention.
Yeah, I
yeah.
get that.
Like,
I get that.
That's kind of a pain in the ass.
Like in the second chapter, he wants you to write an essay on yourself.
I remember
And
that.
I could talk an essay on
Mhm.
myself, but writing one is like, you're
I know.
giving me homework. I don't want to do it.
I did it like 22 years ago. I was like 21 years old. I was
Wow.
young. I mean, the book is old.
Yeah, it's an old book.
Yeah.
Getting the Love You Want came out in '88, I think.
It's still brilliant.
No,
I
it's
mean,
great.
it is brilliant work. By the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this. In fact, I'm sure I haven't mentioned this tonight. Over at KMET Radio, the person running my board is Anthony Rodriguez.
A-Rod.
And A-Rod, that's what we call him. A-Rod actually is very, very talented, far more talented than just running my board without being on the microphone. So I just want to say, A-Rod, I am so thankful that number one, that you are over there running the board, and number two, that you are keeping up with how haphazardly I run my spots. So clearly, I don't have that together, but hopefully we will get a system down sometime soon.
I think it's going quite well.
Thank you, buddy.
It's going swimmingly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how it sounds over at his end of the spectrum, but I'm trying to be cognizant of that. And thank you so very much. Okay. So but by the way, my girlfriends, they're marrying each other. They're two girlfriends.
Mhm.
And yeah, they're both intuitive feelers. And so you would think that their communication would be pretty easy. Like you and I are intuitive feelers. And yeah, it's hard. Those relationship things are hard, and they're about to get married.
Well, okay. All the different personality tests in the world, like they are there to try and impose order on something which
Disorder.
is so dynamic and so in depth, and we all the personality tests in the world and all the typing in the
Yep.
world and is no substitute for really taking the time to get to know one
Agreed.
another and really putting in the work with one another and creating a healing environment and creating an environment of growth.
I would say I want to write a book of like 1,000 questions that you ask the person that you're with for a multitude of reasons. First of all, so nothing like shocking comes up later. By the way, your number is not going to be in that book. You know, I just think that's a bad idea.
I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it to offer up if you asked.
That's exactly right. Yeah. But but I just think there's a multitude of things. I remember when my ex-boyfriend and I were breaking up and we were still sort of dating, even though we didn't live in the same house anymore. And I asked him what the moment he was most proud of. And I was stunned by it. It was something I had no idea about. And we had lived in the same house for 3 years.
And that's a big value statement right there.
Uh-huh.
Like the moment you're most proud of is definitely going to be one of your top 3 values probably.
Right.
And you know, understanding your partner's values, like, you know what? I don't think that I could tell you what my ex-wife's top values were.
Really?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably
No,
not, you know, because at that point in my life, I was so busy trying to assert my agenda, my manifesto, and she was busy trying to assert her manifesto. And we were both just trying to grab each other and shake the hell out of each other and you know, get into my mold, you know,
Right.
and that doesn't work.
Nope, sure doesn't.
That
Well,
doesn't
and I
work.
think so often one of the things I see the most, especially women do this, is that they'll meet a guy that's not what they want or not what they want at all. And I see this. We have a mutual friend that I sort of see this with, that whose wife or, you know, his significant other would love for him to get a real job, quote unquote. And it was like the dude was in a band when you met him. Like where does that like even fit in, you know? But I see, and I'm not saying I'm not guilty of that. I just now recognize that now at my age.
Have you ever heard The Snake by Al Wilson?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, the song is a story about a woman who's out on a walk on a cold morning, and she comes across a snake that is frozen in and I mean it's an old, fable, an old allegory.
Okay.
But this woman comes upon a snake that's frozen in a creek bed, and she picks it up and she takes it home and nurses it back to health and puts it by the fire and feeds it and takes good care of it, and she goes to work and she comes back and the snake is revived and is rejuvenated and is back to health and is hissing and writhing and is alive. And she's so excited and she's so happy. She picks up the snake and she kisses it and she caresses its skin and holds it to her breast, and the snake bites her.
Right.
And she goes, "Oh my God, how could you bite me? I took you in and I saved you and I did all this stuff to help you out, and then you bit me, and your bite is venomous and it's going to kill me." And the snake just goes, "Bitch, you knew I was a snake when you brought me in." Yeah, that's an old story.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but it's so, I mean, I have it all the time where my girlfriends will go, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe what my husband or boyfriend just did. He was so great for 2 weeks, and then now he's a jerk again and is like not helping around the house and all that." Huh, that's odd.
What did you like about him when you first met him? Oh, he just didn't care,
Right.
He just does his own thing, and I just
Right.
thought that was so hot.
Dude, I love your girl voice. It's so awesome.
I love when women do impersonations of guys because they make us sound so dumb.
Dumb.
It's just like, and then my boyfriend's just like, "Hey, I don't know, babe. What do you want to do?" That's
It's
like
so
all guys do the same impersonation of their girl. It's just like, "I don't know, what do you?" And all girls do the same impersonation of their guys. Like, "I don't know, I just want to watch the game."
That's so funny. My ex-boyfriend, though, his thing that he was proudest of is he was an attorney, and he started a free legal organization in the city of New York City. I mean, in New York City. And I knew, though, that being like acts of service to community, that was so huge.
That's
to him.
important to him.
And this is how I knew it was important to him. If you would ask him, like if you hadn't met me and somebody said, "Describe my girlfriend," he would say, "She is the most generous, volunteer giving of her time to her community that I've ever known." Now, would you describe me as that?
Well,
It's 'cause-
he saw in you
Right.
what he saw in himself.
Correct.
He saw what he had disowned in himself.
Correct.
We are only able to see what we admire in others because it exists in us, at least on some level.
Right.
And we are only able to see that which reviles us in other people for the same reason.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, that's funny though, because most people would be like, "What is she like?" Yeah. That's all I'm saying. You'll have to make your own
It breaks
judgment.
my heart to hear you talk about yourself like that.
No. You know what? I just know that like my friend Billy would describe me as a bonfire. That he would say she's like a bonfire. She walks in, stuff lights up.
I just say you're intense.
Okay.
I go, she's intense. She's a crazy person.
That's you.
Like,
you're describing yourself.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Right?
That's funny.
I just like, I go, "Oh yeah, I do this radio show with this woman. She's very intense. She's a firecracker. She's really intense. She's really, she's a talker. She's a lot of fun to be around, really energetic."
You just described yourself.
I know.
I don't think I'm that intense.
I think that when you get going about something that you're really excited about, you can be pretty intense.
Huh. I don't know if I've witnessed that in myself.
Like, okay.
Okay.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
All right. When we had a conversation that I will not go into the content of on our way from the cuddle party to Three Kings.
Okay.
We were talking about a relationship quandary that I am experiencing.
Okay.
And then the next day, I woke up to just a chain of text messages that was you giving advice that was helping out, and it was a lot of and I took it as this is Stacy trying to help me out. This is Stacy giving her best guess on something that would be helpful.
Okay.
And at the same time, I had to throw up kind of a block and and be like, okay, I get it. I got this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I noticed the reaction that I got from that. And that is something that I have a tendency towards too, is I have a tendency towards overstepping my bounds with people.
Okay.
Overstepping boundaries with people.
Okay.
And after, reflecting on it later on, I was like, oh, this is just Stacy trying to help. This is just Stacy offering up feedback.
And yeah, it was funny because like I woke up, had my coffee, and I went, oh, okay. I hadn't pondered the conversation the night before. I woke up and all these ideas, I was like, oh, he just told me this and he told me that and he told me that. Okay. I have like 800 ideas right now.
Right.
But because I'm a doer, it's like, oh, well, I can't wait to just talk to you next time.
Yeah.
Let me just puke on your iPhone.
Ah, my phone just threw up all over me.
Let me just puke on your iPhone. And then that way it's out of my system.
Right. And I have a tendency to do the same thing to my bandmates.
Okay.
I can be a bit overwhelming on people.
But here's my thing. It didn't hurt my feelings that you drew your boundary. I mean, I appreciated that because I actually do appreciate that.
Right.
But it was funny because one of my girlfriends said this week, because it was with someone else, not you, which is funny. I overstepped my boundaries with you. Didn't even cross my mind. But with someone else, I was like, I kind of think I overstepped my boundaries, maybe. And my friend goes, and my friend is one of the most wise, centered, soulful people. And she goes, I really don't say that anymore because that's how I find out what my boundaries are.
Absolutely.
Is by overstepping them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No.
And one thing that on the path of self-discovery that we are all on.
Well, not we all. But
Well, whether we like it or not,
right.
You're gonna learn a thing or two in your life, whether you want to or
crossed.
not.
Yeah.
But for the people who consciously seek it out, is when you have a reaction, when you cross your boundaries, when you cross out of your comfort zone, that is what growth feels like. People talk about, I want to change and I want to grow, but I don't want to be uncomfortable. And I don't want to experience any pain doing it. And I don't want to feel any negative emotions doing it. And I don't want it to hurt. It's like, I want to have this cancer taken out of my body, but I don't want you to cut me.
Well, and it's funny that you're saying this too, because I actually have an example of last week where last week, after the show, I didn't realize that our curse words were getting through, and they were. And so we didn't find out until late in the show. And there was it felt like a Facebook, it felt like I was getting ganged up on.
Yeah, like you got jumped.
Like I got jumped. And it felt like I was getting ganged up on. Now, I knew, I was like, oh, I feel like I just got punched in the gut. I mean, we had been laughing and having so much fun. And then to find out that throughout the whole show, or, a lot of the show, that there was, this dissension that was going on really hurt my feelings. I mean, a lot. And then, but it was funny because I went, okay, well, first of all, I looked for you and Heather to soothe me. Hey guys, we got to make sure that we don't do this because, I got this Facebook stuff and da-da-da-da-da. And then, then I realized when I was looking to you guys to be soothed that I needed to soothe myself.
Right.
But it was great to have that connection anyway, because you guys knew if that would have just happened to me by myself, I think I probably would have started crying.
I'm going to burn you a copy of this quantum light breath thing that I'm doing.
Okay, cool.
It is all about making love to yourself.
Nice.
It is all about, there's a part that's this guy, Jay Rukabal, who is no longer with us. And it's a live recording of this quantum light breath process that he does. And it's, you can hear the background of noise of just people just moaning and releasing all this stuff. And he does all of this stuff that is about opening up to your feelings, to opening up to he actually refers to ravishing yourself, and being able to forgive yourself, being able to soothe yourself, being able to really love yourself.
Right.
And I kind of generally, because I put myself up against my stuff a lot, I get this sort of general rawness in my heart.
Mine's in my stomach and my heart.
Generally kind of all the time. You know what I mean?
Mine doesn't happen all the time. Mine actually doesn't exist all the time. Mine's more like, look at Facebook after a great show. Oh, it feels like somebody just ripped my heart out and punched me in the gut.
I have kind of a general, like the feeling a new tattoo gets, or the feeling of like being chafed a little bit, kind of this general tenderness in my heart.
Right.
I kind of generally have it because I do a lot of work, and because I expose myself to that deliberately. And I got done with this process, and it was the first time that feeling has been absent.
Oh, wow.
A very long time. I got up afterwards, and I was like, it's gone.
Whoa.
It was like, I don't feel that, because I had opened some things up and released some things, and it's pretty spectacular.
Well, and after I was, by myself to self-soothe, because, I was like, okay, I'm using these guys to soothe me. And really, that's not what I need. You know what I mean? I need to make myself feel better. And the fact of the matter is that I did something that, and okay, I didn't know what was going on the feed, but I'm still ultimately 100% responsible for the show. And once we found out it wasn't happening, we quit doing that. Okay. So, I kind of soothed myself saying, okay, I once I knew better, I did better, whatever. But it has made it so that the support that I get, like A-Rod doing the board over there tonight, or, Brett helping me with, he's going to start putting our old shows from this week on the following week, that kind of thing. It made it that much more sweet. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, we've had some adversity, and I'm not even sure that they necessarily know that my feelings were hurt. I don't think there's not a whole lot of females doing shows. It's kind of a sports show, environment. So, and here we talk about touchy-feely stuff, but it made me that much more grateful and recognize the relationships that I do have with my coworkers over at KMET are strong, and it made them even stronger, and I'm more grateful.
Well, and this show is an extension of you.
Yeah, it is.
When you deal with musicians, especially vocalists and songwriters, and comedians, this is true for comedians as well, is because that creation is an extension of who you are. It's an extension of your soul. When someone even vaguely grazes it with criticism,
right?
It's a burning shard from the ninth ring of hell, stabbing into the very essence of your being, and steam escaping and demons howling. Right. It hurts. It really, really bad.
You know what, though? It's good to have that. I always call it flexing my rejection muscle.
Yeah.
Because I don't like rejection very much. And I think it's a good thing for me to reflect to flex my rejection muscle. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's a good deal. Hey, something else I want to talk to you about, though. Do you know who Andy Dooley is? Do you know who Mike Dooley is?
No.
He does these emails every day that are like tut. I'll see if I can find one.
I love his name.
Andy Dooley. And let's see. 8:57. A-Rod wants us to end in 60 seconds. Well, I'll have to talk to you about it later.
Yeah.
But, let's see. Next week, we're doing Imago work. We'll be here with Aaron Howell from Heavy Mental Coaching, and you've been here this week and every freaking week.
Yeah. And thank you, as always, for having me, Stacy.
Oh, my gosh.
I cherish our friendship. I really do.
I do cherish our friendship, too, buddy. Yeah. And, I'm Stacy. I'm the host of, Social Penetration Radio, where entertainment meets enlightenment. And, I appreciate you guys tuning in. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for joining us for another scintillating episode of Social Penetration. We're here every Wednesday, 6 to 9 p.m. on WCAS Radio. See you next week.
As a parent, you can't help but look at your child and wonder what the future holds. You may dream about the possibility of your son or daughter becoming a professional athlete or a renowned heart surgeon. But while you're dreaming, consider this. The odds that your child will be diagnosed with autism are 1 in 88. Knowing the signs of autism and catching it early can make a world of a difference to your child and to you. To learn the signs,
visit autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council and WCAS Radio.
There are hundreds of fun and simple things you and your family can do to live a healthier lifestyle. Here are a few. Drop the fat, drop the sugar, drop down and give me 10. Ditch the video games, ditch the remote, dig a ditch, skip seconds, skip dessert, skip to my loo, don't skip breakfast. Search We Can online to find more ways you and your family can get healthy together. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and WCAS Radio. WCAS cares when it counts.
There, just a second, another kid dropped out of school. If we do nothing, 3.5 million kids won't receive a diploma over the next 4 years. United Way knows that kids who have a caring adult in their life are more likely to make it. And the difference between a dropout and a graduate could be you. Take the pledge to volunteer now at unitedway.org. Brought to you by the United Way, the Ad Council, and WCAS Radio. WCAS cares when it counts.